everybody to GLOBEBUSTERS.
We accept the reality of the world with which we're presented. It's as simple as that.
And welcome everybody to GLOBEBUSTERS. We're on to Season 9, Episode 17. Did I get that right? I might be wrong about that. Let's check. Yes, Season 9, Episode 17. Follow the Sun, our most live views ever. You're about to be part of history, we think. We don't know. We are going to try it out. Let me just get some stuff here taken care of. Make sure that that's good. All right, great. We are done there. And I wanted to put your little thumbnail up there. There we go. Follow the Sun, our most live views ever. So we're going to talk a little bit about the Sun and what it could be doing or might be doing, and then also asking for your guys' help with some filming. And I know, by the way, I'm your host, Jeran from Jeranism. And we also got Austin here for just a minute. I know he's busy packing up, getting ready for a big move. So, Austin, welcome to the show. But I also wanted to check, did you make the group yet for the Follow the Sun group or whatever? Or Sunset?
I have not yet. No, I just thought about it. Can you hear me?
I can hear you great. Yep.
Yeah, I just thought that would be a good idea. I was talking to some people earlier. And yeah, we should just create like a Telegram group so we can kind of all coordinate, maybe like a Google Doc or a Google Drive for all the vids.
Okay. And then I know we'll talk to the audience about it in a second. But I was also thinking, because what we really just need is like a consensus, right? It needs to be, like, I know you put that meter up there, but if we had, say, 5-10 people all film the sunset over the next 3 weeks and they all see it diminishing, the light after sunset, I'm not sure if we necessarily need the meter yet. Like, we would need it then if we want to do something more professional. But for now, what I'm looking for is just the confirmation that what we think is correct. And if what's happening in the South is what's happening, then we've got some issues. So we'll get to that right now. But let's start out first with, if you guys watched my show yesterday, I mentioned that, we also got Zack here. Zack. What's up, Zack? Sorry, I forgot you.
Hey, what's going on, guys? No worries.
And Iru will be with us shortly. And then, but let's get Witsit out of here. I know he's got busy stuff to do. So Witsit, I don't know if you want to tell people that what happened, or if they watch my show, they already know that you had some money stolen from you. Or, yeah, I guess that's what you call it. Are you there?
Yeah, I mean, effectively, yeah.
So,
yeah.
I talked about it yesterday. It's upsetting. I get it because, if people don't know, Austin's moving, and we make Ray token from Rockfin, and a lot of us, rather than keep cashing it out and it causing it, we kind of keep it as a little savings, and that's what Austin had kept and prepared for his move. And then he went to swap it out to get the money for it the other day, and there was what's called a sandwich attack, which only happens when there's a super low liquidity pair like Rockfin, the Ray token, and basically a bot gets in the middle of your transaction and tries to buy out one side of it so that you're left with basically giving your coin for nothing. And that's basically what happened through the wallet. And then it also happened to Hibbeler. So both of them lost multiple thousands of dollars. Very upsetting. So I last night showed everybody their Ethereum address, and then also wanted to give out their Cash App because, if this happened to me, I would be, broken. I don't even know what I would do. But I think that if we can all if you have a couple extra bucks that you can throw their way, even if we could get them half back or something, I know it's maybe wishful thinking, but I think that it could kind of smooth the blow. So that was money that you had planned to move, right?
Yeah. Yeah, like we've it's been a whole thing finding a house, and I went down to Florida, looked at a couple houses that didn't work out. But then we finally, honestly, I said a prayer and asked the Creator to show us a house and make it very clear. And then the very next day, people may think this is weird, but like 3s and 7s are like a big deal to us. So I feel like shows me stuff in 3s and 7s, and then the Addy had like 333. The square foot had 3 and 77, and anyway,
he made
it was
it
very
clear
obvious where we were supposed to go.
He made it clear, is what you're saying.
Yeah, he made it obvious, yeah. And then the house had been like dropped from its price point, like $700, or we would have never been able to get this house and rent it. So anyway, we went through all that and got approved, blah blah blah, and yeah, I had the Ray token, so I guess I get random deposits in there, and I was just leaving it alone. Which actually, Jeran had talked to me about how I should be doing that. Normally I don't, but for the last however many months, I've just completely left it alone because I'm like, oh well, I'll use that for the move. for like the, you got to pay the deposit and then the first month and then a pet deposit and then we have to pay for the moving truck all the way down there, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, I went over there to grab the Ray, and I guess I was mistaken about this anyway. I saw that it was up reading on Coinbase Wallet at like 172. And I think you're saying they pulled the info from the wrong place, so they don't have the real price point on there.
I'm not positive about that. I guess Hibbeler messaged me today and said, "Is it up to 175?" I was like, I think that's a mistake. But then I went and looked, and it looks like from like 5 a.m. to like 9 a.m. this morning, it was 175. So I don't know.
Yeah,
if
so that's what happened. So this is such a crazy. It's just like I don't even. That's why I haven't really been talking about it. But so the day before, it went up to like 170 something, and I went and I just went and checked my wallet, and I saw that it said like I had 4,052 array, but it said that I had like almost $7,000 in there.
Right.
And I'm like, what's going on? So I went to go ahead and pull it, and I didn't have enough Ethereum, and those were legitimate trades that were going through. It was like $55 Ethereum fee or whatever. I'm like, okay, whatever. I didn't have enough Ethereum. And then when I was trying to go get the Ethereum, it was like all these situations were happening. And then when I finally made it back with the Ethereum, it dropped. It plummeted in like a split second, right? And I knew it was going to, so I was trying to pull it. So anyway, I went ahead and bought some Ethereum, made sure I had plenty in there in case it did it again. Right. And then I was going to the gym the very next day. It did it again. And so it was at 172, so it was reading like 7K. I was like really frustrated I missed out on it, but then it happened again the next day. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to miss it this time. I have my Ethereum ready. So you have to switch the rate to Ethereum, obviously. And then I went to swap it. And a little warning pops up, like always, though. Every trade every swap I've ever done, a little warning pops up, and it's like, network fees are a little high right now, or are you sure you want to go through with this trade because the network fees are high or whatever. So I just assumed it was that, and so yeah, I just approved the trade, right? Like $6,800. It was like $69.96 or something, and I was trading that for Ethereum, of course, expecting to get like 6,900 in Ethereum, and then yeah, just like all disappeared. I like all of a sudden my wallet said like it had like nothing in it, and I instantly noticed, but I couldn't cancel the trade. I couldn't stop it. I couldn't do anything. So yeah, that's pretty much what happened. Like I traded what read off as $6,900 in Ray token I had saved up for the move, which minimum of like 4,000 something.
Just 4,000 something tokens. So, and I showed it on my show. We can show the transaction. So if anybody wants to see it, what basically happens, like I said, is if it's a low liquidity pair, which Ray token is, meaning that there's little Ethereum in there to pair with the Ray token. So a bot can actually move extremely fast. So it sees Austin trying to make that trade, and then what it does is it goes in and buys out all the Ethereum except for a tiny little bit, which that means that now when Austin hits submit, it has to recalculate the trade because there's not the value anymore there. There's not the two, let's say it's a 2 Ethereum. There's not 2 Ethereum in there to match his $7,000. There's only a tiny bit, like $5 worth of Ethereum. So what it should do is send a huge warning, like you're about to make a trade that is 99% less value than every other trade that's made with this token. But instead, it just puts up a little warning that Austin must have either didn't see. I mean, because the same thing happened to Hibbeler. So they both just hit submit. And like they said, every trade you've ever done, it has all these warnings. So it wasn't like a flashy warning, which it should have been, because then what happened is he traded his Ray token into $5 worth of Ether. So
and honestly, what's confusing for me is I didn't even see, like I went to my Ether wallet in there and I went to the transactions and I don't see another transaction. I don't know how that works if it doesn't register as a transaction or whatever, but you said that he said something about a low value trade. Like it did not say that to me. It said it used some term maybe that I haven't heard.
Slippage, right?
I couldn't remember if it's
slippage.
Yeah, it may have said slippage or something, right? And it's like, I'm like, oh, the fee, because it always says like net due to how many people are using it or whatever right now, this fee's a little higher. Are you sure you want to go through?
Right.
And it's always like, oh, $10 more or whatever, So I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
It didn't pop up and say, oh,
trade.
you don't want to do this. This is a bad value trade. I didn't see anything like that.
Which
it looked identical to every other notice.
Which it absolutely should have done, because they should recognize if there's a regular amount that token trades for, let's say it's $1, which is what Ray token about trades for, plus or minus a few cents. Then as soon as anything less than that, let's say it's less than 75 cents, it should put up a huge warning to just tell you, because again, I believe in open markets, meaning if you want to sell your Ray token for 75 cents, you have every right to do so. If you want to sell it for 5 cents, whatever you want to do. But nobody in their right mind is going to be trading 4,000 tokens that are usually worth $1 to even more for $5. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, it said I had $7,000, bro. So I'm like, oh, what a blessing. I missed it the day before. So my 4,000's turned into 7,000. I'm going to catch it. And this is going to help with the move significantly, because like technically there's like an extra room. We actually need furniture or whatever. And so I'm like, okay, I'll be able to pay the deposits and everything. So I went and pulled it and it disappeared. I mean, what can you do? Well, it's very unfortunate timing, obviously, because we're moving in like a couple days. And so we have to, like, we got the lease sent over yesterday and we have to sign it and pay for the first month's rent, a deposit, a pet deposit, and then the moving truck's like $1,200 or whatever. So, yeah, it is what it is.
And it's $Witsit, right? For your Cash App. Okay, I'm putting the links here the links in this description so you guys can find it there. If you want to see a little bit more in detail about what happened, you can watch my show from last night. I talked about it at the beginning. But yeah, I just figure we can try and help them out. I do think that they have a case against. I don't know if it's whether it's Coinbase Wallet or Uniswap that really would be the one responsible. I think it would be Coinbase Wallet that should be the one to send the warning. I'm not really positive who should put the warning out. But,
I mean, Uniswap told me that they wouldn't, that trade would never have gone through on their app, that they have slippage protection.
Right.
And I guess Coinbase Wallet doesn't or whatever.
What slippage is if the price changes in the time between you hitting activate and the trade going through. And what sucks about that is that bots can act immediately. So bots are always faster than you. That's why I always tell people don't, think you're going to make money swapping coins or doing arbitrage, because that's what bots do, and they're always going to beat you to it, and they're going to make the money and you're going to lose out. And this is the same thing where the bot's able to jump in and do a bunch of things behind the scenes, and then the system has to recalculate. Now, it should warn you, like you said, I think Uniswap sends a thing saying slippage, below average, and then it will show you what. So what basically he would have seen is it would have said slippage below 1%. You're getting 1% value for this trade. At which point Austin would say, no, I don't want that. So
yeah, because like it didn't do that at first, bro. I don't know how it works, but it showed just equal value in Ethereum, bro. So like that's why I feel like it's completely honest. It showed it was there. That I was gonna. I don't remember what it was. It was like 3 Ethereum.
Yeah, because they had that liquidity, right? So when you went there was that 3 Ether in there, meaning that you can trade your Ray and get those 3 Ether out. But then as soon as you inquired about it, the bot is already programmed to, he's inquiring about it, and it's a dangerous game. Because if you didn't just do that trade, if you just decided, I don't want to do it today, then the bot just purchased all that Ethereum, and now it has to either sell it back, and it's going to lose money doing that. So it's a little dangerous. This is why you don't hear about this on bigger coins. Because
it's not that dangerous, because, I mean, it's still Ethereum. And so, like, it's not like it couldn't sell the Ethereum.
Good point.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, it's going to lose a little money in fees, and if the price drops is the only dangerous thing. But
it's not going to lose $7,000.
No.
It's not going to lose 100. So. No. Yeah, I don't know. It is what it is. I'd have to go, I guess. Yep. But long story short, that's what happened. It's just unfortunate because I had the money set aside. I was like, this is convenient. It's crypto, so it's difficult to get. So I'll make sure I just keep like a savings account for the last like 4 months or whatever so that I can use it for the move. And it disappeared last minute. I guess that's life. Someone in the chat asked me what's going on with my sister. We still haven't heard anything back. She's still missing. It's been 3 weeks. Police aren't really helping, said that they don't have enough manpower in Denver. Last time she was seen was getting on a bus to go to Denver because it was her day off. And then some dude called from her phone trying to get a ride out of Denver, but then the phone's been off ever since. No debit card activity for the last 3 weeks. So she's just still missing. No one knows where she is. So yeah, there's the update. I don't really want to talk about that, to be honest, but rough couple weeks. It's all good.
Well, I didn't know that. I knew that she was missing, but I guess because you never brought it up again, I figured she was definitely found. I had no idea. It's been 3 wees. Wow.
Yeah, 3 weeks yesterday. So.
Okay, well, we'll all say prayer. Hopefully that turns out well. But no, I'll let you go. Thank you for coming by. And yeah, so on the screen, and again, never type in somebody's address. It's just on the screen. But that would be a best way to send it to the wrong person. The easiest way is to go to the description here on YouTube and then copy and paste the address if you're going to send something crypto, or if you just do Cash App. I think what is that noise? Somebody on the road?
I'm sorry.
No problem. If we all pitch in just a little bit, again, I always say that, but $5 from everybody. It may not seem like much to you, but it would be huge for Witsit or Hibbeler. And yeah, the next day I got a call from Hibbeler, and Hibbeler's like, "You'll never believe what just happened to me." I'm like, I could take a guess. He's like, "What?" I'm like, "You tried to trade Ray token and it got taken." He's like, "How the hell did you know that?" I'm like, "Because I'd just been working with Austin for the last day on it, and I just had a feeling when you called, because he was trying to call me. I saw like 2 missed calls. I was doing something else. I kind of figured it started to, looked like maybe it was important. So then when he called back the third time, I just kind of had a feeling something was wrong, and sure enough, it was. So both of them lost about the same amount. I think about 4,000 Ray token. So
have you heard of any other coins having this happen?
It's very rare, because to execute the whatever you call it, the trap or the hoax, you have to purchase one side of the coin. So basically every other coin has tons of Ethereum on the other end, meaning that for somebody to do it with a coin, it would cost hundreds of thousands or thousands or multiple thousands. Like this cost the bot only $7,000 to buy out the ETH and then try and implement this attack. If it's another coin, any other coin you could think of, it's going to have way more ETH on the side in the liquidity pool, which means that the bot has to buy all that. So it is taking a chance, and like there's fees. It's there's I don't think that these crooks have like millions sitting in the accounts that they're able to buy. I think that they're looking for this kind of thing, a small time coin. They can turn the bot on to pay attention to when anybody requests something close to the amount that's in the liquidity, meaning that Austin requested 4,000 coins, $7,000, which was probably very close to the amount of liquidity that was in the pair. So the bot immediately just buys all the Ethereum out except for a little bit, which means it recalculates the trade, but now it's recalculating the trade based on, okay, this guy's got 4,000 tokens and I've got $5 worth of Ether. So then that's the trade now. So it should put up a huge warning telling you, hey, this just happened when you were waiting. And again, bots can get in there and be fast. So here's the thing. I don't have a Coinbase wallet, so I can't really test it as far as I want to see what kind of, it should send up a big warning. If it doesn't, then I do think you have a chance to go after them and at least try and get reimbursed. Of course, they have more money than you and me and everybody here probably combined. So they really shouldn't have an issue in paying you back if we can just show. So if anybody has a Coinbase wallet, wants to kind of play with it and see what happens if you find a low liquidity pair and try and do a trade and see if a bot tries to buy you out in the meantime, and then see what kind of warning comes up. But again, it's kind of hard for me to reenact. I've done trades before on Uniswap. I've done trades in MetaMask. I can't see that happening there because it warns you. It tells you in big, here's your slippage percentage, and it shows you that you slipped 80% or something. And what slippage is again the amount that the price changes between when you hit submit the trade and when it goes through. So what you tell it is, okay, 2%. So what you're allowing is you're saying, I'll allow the price to change 2% in the meantime, meaning that, I know that it takes time to execute the trade and then for the blockchain to actually post it. So you can put a slippage percentage that protects you. And of course, most people put 2 or 3%. Maybe I've seen some people do 5. Really bad coins, you might do a 10%, saying I'll still accept the trade if it's a 10% difference. But I've never seen anybody that would do it. It's what Austin did is 99%, right? 4,000 tokens at $1 value, $1.75 value, really, if you look at what he was trying to get at that time. And so you're talking $7,000. So $7,000 to $5 is a 99% reduction in slippage. So like what he talked to Uniswap, and Uniswap said that would never go through on our site. It's because I'm assuming they have a slippage protection that's probably around 50%, which means if it's below 50%, it's not going to let you do the trade. Even though you should be allowed to, it probably is going to warn you a bunch. Are you sure? Are you absolutely positive? Because that's what a company should do, is take care of their customers and make sure that nobody leaves down $7,000 like happened to these two. So anyway, thanks, Austin, for jumping in, and we wish you good luck in the move and everything. And we'll be here when you get back.
Yeah, cool. Thank you, man. This is the reason I don't really bring it up is like people suck, man. Like, Austin's stupid and made a mistake with crypto. He should know better than to use crypto, and so now he wants people to cover his mistake. And it's just like people even saying crazy stuff about like my sister situation. Like, so it's like,
I can't make excuses for that. People are lost sometimes. I mean, here's my perspective on it: is that if it happened to me, I think it'd be awesome if some people pitched in and I was able to recoup some of, if you want to call it my mistake, it's not really a mistake, it's an attack. I don't know how if something's attacked, if it's a mistake. It's just bad timing. And so, again, we're not asking somebody to cover the $7,000, but if everybody threw in $5 and, he makes 2,000 or 3,000 back, at least he can get the moving truck. At least he can, and it's not the biggest blow. So that's me helping people out in the community. I don't tear people down like other people do in this community who just love to. It just kind of shows what kind of life you must have to celebrate somebody else's misfortune. I mean, you must. Misery loves company, as they say. So that tells us exactly. I would never make fun of somebody's misfortune like that. It's just I put myself in that situation and say, how would I be feeling right now? And again, if I read somebody saying, oh, we have to cover for his, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything. Nobody said you have to do anything. It's just for the people out there that want to help. So anyway, I'll let you go, Austin. Take care.
Appreciate it, brother. Yeah.
Right.
I'll catch up with you guys soon, and thanks for all the prayers and everything. Everything will work out.
All right, thanks. All right, let's. Now we're going to break our all-time record of views, and I'll explain why. We saw somebody sent me a video. I sent it to Cami. Oops, let me bring this up here. Get this on the screen. Okay. Whoops. Sorry. There we go. So I watched this video by this guy who has 3 million subs, and he was talking about how he got there and how he has learned to use the live streaming platform to get more live views. So I did something that we didn't know, and if you want to try this at home right now, you can, is if you are watching on your PC and let's go to the video here. I'm going to go to our video. And if you click on, I guess you could just click on the tab of the video and hit, sorry, I'm doing this, and hit open a new window. So when I do that, I'm just going to hit open a new window. Or wait, does that let you do add tab, new tab, move tab to new window? New window, new tab, move tab to new window. I don't know how you do this now. So I'm just going to copy it and then I guess go new window, and then I'm going to paste our link in there. And so now I've got 2 windows open with the show. Now, supposedly that means that I just added a view. So if you keep doing that, opening a new window and then posting our show in there. So why would we do this? Well, it's because supposedly this will keep increasing our live views. So if you guys do it at home with me, just for fun, we'll see what happens. And what supposedly happens is people who show up on YouTube often look for live streams, and then they look for the ones with the most views. And then they watch whatever is the live show with the most views. So if we were to get up to 1,000 people, then you're going to have a bunch of people who are starting to tune into the show that have never seen the show before, simply because it has a lot of live viewers. So we're just trying to see if that actually works or not. So that's our live view record is 1,600, I think. Is that correct? Yeah, I think it's 1,600. So right now we're at 222. I want to see if it actually increases if I go here to new window. And I'm going to paste in our URL. And let's see what it goes back to now. I see 222 still. Let me refresh.
I have 5 open so far.
Okay, I wonder. Now mine's just staying at 222. Maybe it's not working anymore. And the guy who made a video probably alerted YouTube to it. Let me show you the video real quick here. Where is the Skype screen? And I got to grab it from Cami. I'll show you this video real quick. It's a pretty interesting little find because it does. I mean, he makes a good point here. Let's bring this up and I'll show you. 1 second.
Good British people, I dream of achieving something incredible, insulting French people. But outside of that dream, there's another dream. A dream to write history, to achieve something absolutely magnificent. And in my case, the dream I wanted to achieve was to get to 30,000 concurrent livestream viewers on YouTube. This is seemingly an impossible task for someone like myself. Whilst I have over 3 million subscribers, my average stream viewership is between 4,000 and 6,000 people. But a few days ago, to celebrate my birthday, I achieved the impossible, and I got to 30,000 live viewers. But I didn't play fair, ladies and gentlemen. You see, whilst live, we discovered some absolutely broken features of YouTube that allowed you to destroy the entire platform. And today, ladies and gentlemen, get yourselves comfortable, because I'm about to explain how I, and literally any of you, are able to use one of the greatest secrets of YouTube and destroy any sense of balance or fairness that this platform has. So make sure you have a nice warm cup of tea in hand, and let's begin. Now, as I mentioned, looking through the live streams on YouTube, there's a whole bunch of people out there doing all kinds of different kind of weird stuff. And I just wanted to see if for one day I could beat them. If I could get more views than Ninja, more views than Dr. Lupo. Wouldn't it be incredible if someone like myself could pull that off? Heck, what if I could get more views than those weird animation channels that for some reason are running like 6 animations all at the same time? I mean, who's even watching them? I guess we'll never find out. Anyway, that doesn't matter. What matters is that I wanted to grow a live stream on YouTube. So How does one normally do that? Well, YouTube is a...
So he goes on to explain that they discovered that opening new windows. So have you ever seen, and I always wondered this, have you ever been looking through YouTube and you'll see some video that says, 100, or maybe it's like not that high, it's like 3,000 people watching live. And it's like some fake Elon Musk Bitcoin scam or something. I always see those and I'm always like, how do they have 3,000 live views? Well, little did I know that these people are probably just opening up separate windows and gaming the system. Again, this is why there's no lies here. The title of the show was our most live views ever, not live viewers ever. But by getting the most live views ever, we could get the most live viewers ever. Because if more people, like he shows, as soon as he had like 1,000 people watching live, well, then the numbers start taking off exponentially because more people are joining that are watching and looking for what the live stream with the most views is. So anyway, we just thought we'd see if we could get our numbers up a little bit, get some new people introduced to the show. And that's why, if you want to join in the fun, see if is it going up at all? What do we got here? Maybe it doesn't work. I wonder why. Shows. Oops. As soon as he had like pause. Yeah, I see only 234. So we've only increased 12. Let's see it, 234. Let me know if you if you do it a couple times, just tell me how many times in the chat that you've done it. If you do it 5 times, just so I can see if it actually works.
I did it twice from 2 different, one from Google and the other one from Microsoft, something or other.
Uh-huh.
And I think that one counted. But when I was doing it all out of Google, just opening more and more Google pages,
right,
I didn't see anything go up.
Okay, that's kind of what I was doing. Sorry, just tell me how many times in the chat that you've done it. I wonder if you do incognito window. I wonder if, and yeah, I know people might be, oh, you're cheating the system. Well, if everybody else is doing it, what we're trying to do is just see if people want to see the show. Maybe they've never heard of it. If you don't know, we are completely blocked on
Don't buy solar
on YouTube. I'll show you actually something right now while more people open it up. There we go. So somebody just said that the ISRO had 10 million watching live. Let me try this real quick. So just to show you, and I've shown this on my last 2 shows, but it's pretty incredible, that if we go to, oh, maybe I showed it on GLOBEBUSTERS last time, didn't I? Yeah, I forgot. I already showed this to you guys. But the different channels, like myself, like Dearth, we are not showing up even in people's recommendeds, right? I'm sorry, even in people's history. So if we go DITRH and we grab some videos of his, I want to watch this video too. I don't know. He's got Brendan Myers on. What is his name? Brant Myers? Yeah, something. I always call him. What do I call him? The guy's name. Oh man, I can't remember his name now. Brant is his name. Brant Myers. So if we grab a couple videos here that say Flat Earth, you'll see that they don't show up in the history search. So if we grab, here's Flat Earthers.
Chandrayaan 3 has entered.
And we're going to go with, this says unofficial teaser of Flat Earth. This is Flat Earth versus Globe Earth and the ISS trick. And let's grab, where does the sun go on Flat Earth? Okay, so once you've seen all those, if you ever go to your history, you're going to see, oops, that's what I meant to do. I always forget where to get history from every time. Library. All right, so when you go to history here, then it brings up and you'll see it's the 4 videos that we just clicked, right? So if we search our watch history, it should be there. Meaning if we search Flat Earth, well, where does the sun go on Flat Earth would definitely show up. But if we type in Flat Earth, you'll notice that what's left is only the debunk videos. So now we're going to get just debunk videos, right? So it's just going to be these guys. It's going to be this guy. It's going to be the debates against Dave, between Professor Dave, 10 challenges for Flat Earth. So they've just eliminated people like myself, people like Dave Weiss from results. So I don't feel bad about gaming the system a little bit if we can. When you are shadow banned against, I mean, nobody else has this problem, right? So if we go to somebody else's channel, let me think of what we would go to. Let's go to FTFE and see his videos. So if we go here, okay.
previously.
Stop it. All right, so let's go to a couple things that he might say. Let's see if it is the word Flat Earth. Actually, let's do that. So here he's got Flat Earther and Flat Earther, right? So we're going to watch this one.
Hey, I'm FTFE.
And we're going to watch this one. It says Flat Earther.
Disclaimer.
See if there's another one here that says Flat Earther. Fleur. Flat Earth. Flat Earther. Okay. So we just put 3 of his videos in there. that say flat Earth. Let's go to now to our history and see your chaps. I could just do it over here. Library, history. All right. So now we've got in our history these 3 videos here, and let's see what happens if we type in flat earther, which we'll find out now if it's channel related or if it's actually the words. Let's see. So it's the words. It's the words.
I might have figured this out. I added a bunch in. As long as I open the page to its own, like instead of opening tabs all the way across the top, if I open the tab and drag it down
into a new
and
window,
make it its own tab, it seemed to be working. We were up to 274 and I closed like 10 of them and it dropped down to 261. So I don't know if that was me or it's just bouncing around right now. I'm going to start opening them again.
Yeah, try it. I've opened about 4 or 5 down here. And yeah, and we're not asking everybody to do it a bunch, just if you want to do it 4 or 5 times, just to see if, if there was 200 and we each opened 4 or 5, then there's going to be 1,000. And then people who are looking at search on YouTube might see us in the top. I wonder if we even show up. Now I think about it. I wonder if you go to the live. I mean, I'm sure, man, I don't even want to think about that now. We'll have to. So anyway, which is weird. So now I'm confused with what this means. So if I searched for FTFE's videos under Flat Earther, why would they be gone? But like this one, Flat Earthers, why would they still be here? Like his video is a debunk. So I don't know the word. If the word is what's caused it to disappear, well, then these would be gone. So I don't know. That's kind of confusing now. Let me see if we try something else with his videos. So let's go with, let me see where we at here. FTFE. Let me try another word. So let's go and see if he's got 33 equals flat earth. Flurfs. I don't know if we want to search flurfs. I don't know if that's a word they would have. Yeah. I mean, that word they wouldn't have any reason to get rid of, right? Flurfs. They would want that word, I'm guessing. Let's see if we find more. Where's this stupid flurf? Flurf.
Hello.
And let's find one more of those. I don't see it now. Let's look up here. Flurf. Am I just blind? Where's flatter, fail, flatter, 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 flatter? Flatter, flurf. Maybe I did that one.
Recently.
And, well, that's First for Idiots. So, anyway, we are definitely being suppressed. I don't know what the rules are, or I don't see anything else. Okay, let's check the history now. Under library, under history. Okay, so we've got 3 flurfs. Let's see what happens if we type that in. ERF. Flurf. Okay, try that. Huh. So it left these 2, but it looked like it got rid of the 1. So I'm not really sure what exactly is it doing, but it certainly doesn't happen. We checked last week. If you do 9/11 videos, if you do other conspiracy videos, they stay here. So I'm not really sure why Flurf got rid of this one. So it's not channel specific. It's more, I can't tell you. Anyway, just pointing out that we are being censored heavily. And I bet you if we go to, how do you look up live views on YouTube? Like if you, how that guy's showing, I forgot how you do that. If you want to go to, I don't know, right here, live. So if you click live here, then it should, does it list by live views? Wow, we're not even on here. Never mind. Wait, this can't be all that's live on YouTube right now. It shows me only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 videos. There's got to be more people.
There's more people live on YouTube every minute of the day than 14.
Yeah. I mean, this guy here's got 5,000 people watching live for he's playing a video game, a little video game. I mean, stuff like that I've always wondered, but now I'm like, oh, well, that makes sense if they're just all cheating. I mean, it probably doesn't have 5,000 people watching. Let's see what's going on here. Is there a chat?
How do you use Brighton past Game Week 10 when the schedule looks better?
Yeah, I mean, look at the chat. How could the chat be moving this slowly? Our chats move faster than this when there's 300 people. Yet he's got 4,932 watching, and it's only moving this fast. Sorry, that's so anyway, what that video was basically saying is that this system is broken and you can't pay attention to live views anymore, and you can't really believe what they're saying because obviously this guy does not have, I don't think there can be a way he's got 4914 watching this as he's talking about a video game or something. I don't know. Anyway, just interesting stuff. All right, so let's talk a little bit about what is our number at now. Let me go back and see, are we getting anywhere? Bring this one up. So what is it, 256? I guess it maybe is not working then. I mean, but if we can't be seen by other people, then what's the point? Yeah, still 256. I wonder what that reason is why you can't see more live streams. All live. Yeah, it's still showing those same videos. Weird. And some that have just like nobody watching. I mean, this is 90 people, 19 people watching. Like, why would this be showing and not ours? We've got 264. You know, that's crazy. I don't know. Anybody know of another way to look up live views? Is there a website or anything? Yeah, that's a good idea. Post says start a private stream where you are the only viewer, and then open a bunch of tabs and browsers, and you'll find out. That's a good point. It's a good point. But there's really no use if we're not shown on the live search results, right? So I don't know if anybody can somebody check and just go through the same thing I did, because maybe I'm signed into our account, so that's why. So just go to your homepage and then click live and tell me if you see GLOBEBUSTERS. Everybody's got problems. Mr. One says you can pay for views and subs. Yeah, well that I don't agree with at all. But that's a good way to get your channel shut down. If they can ever prove that you did that, I think you'd lose your channel. But I have seen websites.
On my live page, GLOBEBUSTERS is number 1. Maybe because I'm watching it though.
Oh, so when you clicked home and then live, GLOBEBUSTERS,
GLOBEBUSTERS is the very first one.
How many is listed? Do you have about the same thing?
252 watching.
No. I mean, how many videos are listed under the live tab?
5, 15, 20.
Oh, weird.
Oh, it just keeps going.
YouTube.
Oh, there's a bunch. There's like.
That's so weird because look, I mean, on my screen it ends. It's right here. I hit live and then it just has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and it ends.
Yeah, I have 55 different live things going right now.
So weird what they do, man. How they like everybody sees something different. I'm trying to see here if I go to. Oh, what is this? Live now. Okay, I found some other way to look at live now. Let me put view all. This one has a lot more. Okay, this one's more like it. There's a ton. But I don't know if we're in here. Can you organize it by most views? Live now. No.
CNN for watching.
I believe that. I do believe that. Yeah, I don't.
That is crazy.
Well, I mean, yeah, because some of these. I mean, look at this one here. I mean, it just makes no sense to me. So this view here, this video I just passed is. Where was it? Okay, so like rain sounds, right? 3.8 thousand watching live. Sleep music, 5.4 thousand watching live. I don't know about that. Starbase Edition, the final steps to launch a Starship, 3.1 thousand watching live. Now I don't believe any of this anymore. I used to think like, okay, well, look at this. 24/7 Cat TV for Cats has 1.3 thousand watching. Well, I think all these people are just gaming the system and making money through it, because what they're doing is jacking their number up, then they appear in this list, and then people watch it from there. So,
well, yeah, I mean, if people can buy them, views and things like that then there's obviously a way to do it to your own channel. You know.
Good point. Like, so I always thought that they had like those farms where have you ever seen like videos of the farms where they've got thousands of cell phones? I don't know if you've ever seen it. Oh, they have these farms in like China that are like, it's like a big warehouse, but on all these arms, it's like an arm that might hold, maybe it's like a metal pole in the ground, and then coming off that metal pole is like, 30 arms, and each arm is holding a cell phone. And they just go all the way down the warehouse, and they're all like used to, bot system to get views, things like that. So that's probably what they're all using. Just sucks that we don't even get to show up in there. YouTube's days are numbered, in my opinion. Numbered, because somebody's going to come along and they're going to actually do this right, I think, eventually. But anyway, I wanted to talk about one other thing, and then we're going to get your guys' help if you can. So let me see if I can explain this as clearly as possible, which is never really the case for me. But I'm going to show you well, let me talk about first how it works. So we all know that the globe Earth, the ball Earth, is supposedly tilted, And half the year it's tilted towards the sun in the north, and half the year it's tilted towards the sun in the south. So we know that it should be equal. And we've talked about this before, right? There's different animals in the north that aren't in the south. There's a lot of different differences that we've all called out. But there's one difference that's starting to show up that may be the biggest one we've seen yet. And so we need your guys' help in verifying this. So in the north, and think about this for yourself if you're in, say, the United States and you can have a good view of the sunset. It doesn't have to be a great view because you could have mountains there and technically still do this kind of experiment. Is in the north when the sun sets. So let's say the moment that the top of the sun is eclipsed supposedly by the horizon, right? So it disappears. We don't see the sun anymore. If we started a stop clock, a stopwatch right then, and we kept the stopwatch going until we couldn't see any sunlight at all, right? So that moment that you don't see any residual sunlight, it's black. And we stopped the clock then. And we took that time. So let's say that time comes back at an hour and 25 minutes. And then we do it again on... So let's say we do that on June 21st, right, our height of our summer. And then we do it again on December 21st. Then from the time the sun sets, we don't see it anymore. We start the stopwatch. It would probably be about 45 minutes. Now, that's just me guessing, so don't take that as gospel yet. So that's kind of what we expect on the supposed globe Earth. Now, if we lived on a globe, then the opposite would be true in the south, correct? Meaning that if on June 21st we are getting the most amount of time after sunset of light, then for them, they would get the least amount on June 21st. And they would get the most amount on December 21st, which is opposite of us, right? So that's what the globe calls for. That's what you would expect, is it being completely opposite. The fact is that I have somebody filming for me sunsets in Australia right now. He's in Western Australia, so you can see the sun setting on the water. He started around June 21st or so, about then, doing it a couple times a week, continuously. And right away, about a month ago, he messaged me and he said, dude, I don't know how to explain this, but the number's going down. It's like, what do you mean? He said, well, I'm timing it from the time the sun sets until I get until it's completely black. And each day or two, it goes down by about a minute. So what he started at was about an hour and 15, and what he's at now is about an hour. So this is huge because if you think of us here in the north, I believe the same thing is happening to us. Now, again, I can't really verify this. I haven't gone out yet and done it. This is why we want some people to do it with us over the course of next 3 weeks or so. Because if you think about it, right now, since we're heading towards winter, to me, we would be reducing that time after the sun sets, right? So the sun sets, we start the clock, and then when we see no more light, we end it. To me, in the winter, and how do I know this, or why do I say this? Well, it's because in our summer, here where I live in California, the sun sets like 8:30 in the height of summer, right? So we're talking about June 21st. And it's not dark, completely dark, until like 10. There's still like a little bit of light. Now in the winter, so say on December 21st, it gets dark like at 5:30, and the sun sets at 5:30 and it's dark at 6. Okay, so to me, in the summer, we get a much longer residual light time of say an hour and a half, and in the winter we get 30 minutes. So you would expect the same thing, but opposite in the south. But what we're actually seeing is that it might be the same, meaning that right now, while our light is diminishing because we're heading towards winter, since they're heading towards summer, their light is diminishing. Now, what does that mean? Well, it is direct evidence that the sun is moving faster in the south. If the sun is, what he's actually filming, by filming that amount of time go down as he gets closer to summer, yes, the sun is getting closer to him. Yes, the sun is getting closer to overhead, but because it's moving faster, he's actually seeing the sunset and then it get dark each day, faster and faster. So what we've already been able to kind of surmise from this is that on December 21st, he will have his least amount of light, okay? But that's the height of his summer. So that's the equivalent. If it is the globe or whatever and we want to match it, well then in our June 21st, in our height of summer, we would have the least amount of time after sunset till darkness. Well, that's just not the case, at least as far as I know, at least as far as I remember. So what we want is some people to go out with a nice camera, P900 or something. If you have some sort of view of the horizon, you could do it if you just have mountains or trees or whatever, because you're still going to be doing the same test. What you want to be verifying for us is we want some sort of consensus that yes, in the north, as we approach winter, our amount of time after sunset, the amount of light that we see is diminishing. And once we have a couple people who can back that up, well, then we've got something enormous, because there is no mechanism for the globe to explain this away. The globe has to be the opposite in the south. There's no way that you could ever say, oh, and let me show you how they hide this. This is going to trip you out. So what I wanted to say is I said, well, let's go to time and date, because what we'll be able to determine is if it says that that's really going on, because it's like, is time and date lying to people? That would be kind of hard to believe that nobody's been able to find that yet. So I went to time and date yesterday on my show, and I'll just show this again because it was pretty eye-opening. If we go to a location, I always forget to do this, sunrise, sunset, and we'll just put in Los Angeles. Okay, so I know that they've always showed on here, if you look here, they show something called nautical twilight, astronomical twilight, night, civil twilight, and it always got kind of confusing to me when each one started and why they started and what they call that. So I've always assumed that the twilight is talking about the light after the sun sets, correct? How much time is light after the sunset? So I was like, okay, let's just see what this says. But in reading this, we started getting confused as to what exactly was happening, because when we were looking north and south, we were getting the same times. Well, let me show you what the problem is. If you go to, and this is always what happens when you become a flat earther, is you find these things that would only be this way if they're trying to hide something. So if I click on astronomical, like, where do I find, hold on, there's like a little definition page somewhere. Let me figure out where I get that from here. Astronomical twilight, where do you, Gregorian calendar, what time, it's not exactly 12-hour equinox. Where is the thing? Here we go. What is twilight, dawn, dusk? Okay. So when I started reading this, I'm like, oh my goodness, look how they hid this. So twilight is the time between day and night when there is light outside. Okay, good. That's what we thought it was, right? But the sun is below the horizon. So far, that's what we think it is. Now it says, twilight occurs when the Earth's upper atmosphere scatters and refracts sunlight and illuminates the lower atmosphere. A number of atmospheric phenomena and colors can be seen at night. There are three types of twilight: civil, nautical, and astronomical. Now here comes the hook. Here comes the fraud. Astronomers define the three stages of twilight on the basis of how far the sun is below the horizon. Boy, what? So it has nothing to do with how much light is left. What we are discovering would be hidden by this. See, civil twilight, dawn, and dusk. Civil twilight occurs when the sun is less than 6 degrees below the horizon, which has nothing to do with how much light you see. In the morning, civil twilight begins when the sun is 6 degrees below the horizon and ends at sunrise. In the evening, it begins at sunset and ends when the sun reaches 6 degrees below the horizon. So they're measuring everything. Civil dawn is the moment when the center of the sun is 6 degrees below the horizon in the morning. Civil dusk is the moment when the center of the sun is 6 degrees below the horizon in the evening. So what you can read from this is by determining twilight as a degree below the horizon, well, of course, that's just working right into their model, correct? Meaning that if you think of the opposite, so let's say June 21st, right? And you think of when the sun sets and then how long it's going to be below. Well, of course, June 21st is exactly the same as their December 21st as far as this goes, right? Meaning that they estimate that the sun set, and so they can say it's this many degrees or this many degrees or this many degrees, but that completely erases what we're talking about as far as the speed of the sun. Meaning that your degrees is not going to, just because that matches, well, it doesn't even mean anything. In the south, that's going to mean something different than the north. And so I think that they've used this cleverly, in fact, to hide, again, something else that we could determine. So we can actually prove, nothing here we can't prove wrong. I mean, that's their way of defining twilight, is by how many degrees below, but that's how you would hide it, right? So what we could actually do is by getting evidence of what we think we're seeing, we would completely, man, it would be the biggest blow to the globe that I've seen, to be honest with you, because this is something that cannot be explained. It's just not. How would you ever explain why in the south, when it's summer, that they have tiny little amount of time after the sun sets until there's no sun? But in the north, in our summer, we have a huge amount of time between when the sun sets and when and let me show you why. And that's because it can only be explained on a flat earth map. That's the only way to explain it. Because if you think about it, the sun has a longer travel period during the summer right now, right? So right now it's getting faster. Every day the sun's getting faster and faster. Well, how would you ever film that? It only moves 15 degrees an hour. Well, by doing this light test, by seeing the sunset, now starting your time clock, and then seeing when you don't see light anymore. That's basically a gauge of how fast the sun is moving. And if it continues to get faster and faster and faster as we get close to December 21st, that would cause people in the south to see the sunset quicker and it get darker faster because that sun is booking it. And then if you think of our summer, June 21st, think of the sun. It's going on a little tiny path, and it's much, much slower. So when it sets for me here in California, I get a huge amount of time, an hour and a half still of light, because it's a smaller circle moving slower. In the south, you would expect the opposite to be true, meaning in their December 21st, they should also have more time after the sun sets. But we're learning that that isn't the case. And it looks like this guy's already pretty convinced, and so am I. I mean, he's already like, well, it's already moving. It's linear, too. Why would there be a linear relationship with the amount of light that you see after the sunset in a way that we're showing it, unless it's a some sort of flat Earth map? What do you think, Zach?
Yeah, it should be the same in the north and south if it were a globe.
Yeah.
We would see the exact same thing, just opposite.
Right. So
And
what
we
we're
don't.
actually seeing is the exact same thing at the same time, which is not what should be going on. If we are, and this is what, here's the only way this could be wrong, and I'll take full responsibility if it is I'm basing what I think happens in the north off of what I think I've seen in my life. Now, let me show you this. I sent this to Cami today as well. Oops. Where's Skype? Here we go. Let me just grab, where's this one? Oops. Where's that? This one. So this is an article here that talks about how long does it take to get dark after sunset. And if you read here, it's going to say, oops, who are you? Go away. When will it be dark? How long does it take to get dark after sunset is really a smart question. Let's ask an astronomer. Astronomer, why? Oops, why? Well, you need to know when it's going to be properly dark so you can figure out when it's worth getting outside, taking a look at the night sky. Go too early and you won't see all that you hoped for, but when is too early? Oh, sorry. Is this on? Transfer that so it makes it a little better. If you're in the U.S. and want a quick answer, here it is. It will be dark enough to see deep space objects for southern states around 70 minutes after sunset. For northern states, around 100 minutes, 1 hour, 40 minutes after sunset. There's variation in that for your particular latitude, the season, and how dark you want it to be. So if you want to discover more about how long it takes us to get dark after the sun sets, then read on. Talks about astronomical. Now it's talking about the 6 degrees, the 12 degrees, everything that we just said that's a way to hide this. But really what he's telling you up here is if you're in the U.S. and want a quick answer, here it is. It will be dark enough to see for the sun. So what it's already saying here is that for Texas, they're only seeing 70 minutes of light after sunset. But for the north, so to say Washington State, they're seeing 100 minutes. Well, again, think of a flat Earth map. It's a tighter circle. So as you are closer to that circle, the close to the tightness or whatever, now picture it coming around. I got to bring up a map to show you because I keep saying this and I want to show you. Let me bring up a flat Earth map. Let's see, Jeran. Oops, not that. Yeah, Jeran some pics. Sorry, I just want to show you this. I just got to find a flat Earth map. Okay, let's go with this one. Well, that's a good one, or this one. I'll do the Gleasons. So we're going to open with Real World Paint. All right, so I'm going to show you this, and you'll see what I mean. So now let's think of what it just said, that you see longer light. Oops. Move over. Okay, there. So it said you see longer light in the southern states. I'm sorry, in the northern states than you do the southern. So if you think of a sun here, oh my God, okay. So we're talking about this person here, sees the sun longer after the set than this person. And if you kind of think about it, this sun is coming around, right? And so you could see where if it's coming around like this, that this person is going to be able to see the sun longer. Oops, that's a bad circle. Is going to be able to see the sun longer than this person, where it gets out here and it gets away. Now think about down in Australia. If the sun is doing this here, then you would see that it's kind of staying close. Well, they'll be able to see, okay, it sets. But if it's moving out here, it's flying. It's moving quick. So this person here, which is where I have my cameraman, is seeing it set, and every day the amount of time that he's seeing light is getting less and less. Why? Well, to me, it's because every day that happens now, the sun is getting further away. So for us, again, if you picture this person here, so when we see the sun, here's noon, and then I see the sun set at, let's say, 5:30. Well, it's moving so fast that it's quickly dark for me in the winter, right? So the sun sets 5:30, boom, 6 o'clock it's dark. I don't see the sun anymore. Why? It's booking it. It's booking it on the outer track. And in the summer, we get this little inner track. So of course, me, who's here, sees the sun set, say, 8:30, and then I still see it until 10. I still see light. So this makes much more sense to me and cannot be explained on a globe. There's no mechanism at all that could ever explain why you would have something so drastically different about the North and the South, because they would have to invoke something like the orbit of the Earth. But again, that doesn't make any sense because you're talking about pointing towards north, pointing towards the south. You still have the same spin rate. There's nothing that would cause us to see sun for longer in the summer, and then them as well at the same time of year, right? So when it's our summer, their winter, we're both seeing the sun for an extended period of time. When it's their summer, our winter, we both are seeing a reduced amount of time. That gives a picture of Earth like this, right? It doesn't give a picture of a globe that's opposite. It gives the picture of everybody on Earth going through the same thing, which is the sun moving faster in December and the sun moving slower and on an inner track in June, which would cause exactly what we're talking about. It would cause us both to experience the same thing. When the sun's moving faster, sun sets quicker, we see darkness for a shorter amount of time. We see light for a shorter amount of time. And then during the winter, the opposite, meaning that it's moving faster, and so we actually lose it. So I don't know if that made any sense, but here's what we want from people. If you have a good view of the horizon of some type, and even if you don't, if you just want to do it for fun, we're just looking for people to film sunset for, say, 2 times for the next 3 weeks would be great. And if you can only do it 1 time a week, then you only do it 1 time a week. And what we're seeing from that is if we can get a consensus that everybody agrees, because if we do this and half the people say, oh, my light is increasing, and half the people say, oh, my light is decreasing, well, then we've got a whole different story here. In my opinion, I think everybody in the north, if you film the sunset tonight and you film it in a week and you film it a week after that, you will have the amount of light that you have today after it sets. So let's say today you've got 55 minutes. Well, in a week, it will be 52. And in the week after that, it will be 49. Okay, because as we get closer to winter, I think the sun is going out further and causing it to move faster, which means you're going to have less light after the sunset. If that's the case, and we have this guy down, and if you're in the south, more power to you. We want more people in the south because right now we just have the one guy. But I trust the guy because he told me what he was going to be doing, and then started off and said, okay, just, I'm recording the sunset every day. I'm like, great. And it's kind of a pain in the butt because what you have to do is, number one, you can't film like everybody else does when the sun's way up in the sky. Your battery's going to run out. So you have to wait until the moment that the sun hits the horizon and then start your camera then. So now your camera's recording. You just record it in video mode. Don't do time lapse or anything like that. And then you want to make sure your settings are the same every time and your tripod's in the same place every time. Don't change your settings because it'll pick up more light. You have to keep the settings identical. And then what you do is you just record until you see no more light. Now, he did tell me that his eyes are a little different than the camera. He says that his eyes lose the light about 5 minutes before. So he's been going off what the camera shows. So as soon as the camera doesn't show any light anymore, then he stops recording. And he's been doing that a couple times a week. And right away, he noticed that he's, from the very beginning, he's like, I don't know, it's weird. It's going down. It was an hour and 15, and now it's an hour 13, and now it's an hour 12. Like, that's weird. So I'm like, well, keep going. And I kind of figured maybe that would, come back, or it just didn't make sense to me because I was like, well, right now it's doing the same thing for us. But sure enough, he says, even up till now, that it's clearly going down. It's in a linear fashion. It's going to keep going down. And we can already predict that on December 21st, you're talking about maybe, 35 minutes to 45 minutes of light after the sun sets. Well, the same thing will be true for us. In my opinion, on December 21st, it's going to be about 35 to 45 minutes. So again, we're both experiencing the same thing when we clearly should be experiencing opposites. Now, again, I could be wrong. We all get out there and we all say, Jeran's an idiot. Actually, in the summer, we have the least amount of time from sunset to no light. And in the winter, we have the most amount of time from sunset to no light. Let me ask the chat what they think. If you guys think in the summer in the north, so let's just ask this question. In the summer in the north, do you have more light after sunset or less light after sunset? So again, in the north, in your summer, think of when the sun sets for you, probably 8:30-ish, something like that. How much time do you have until it's completely dark? My guess is about an hour 30. Is what I think. I think the sun sets around 8:30 for us in the height of summer, and until 10, you still have a little bit of light left. So I think it's about an hour and a half of light, and then in our winter,
the further north you go, the longer that lasts.
I would think so. Right. So again,
yeah. When I was up, we used to do this every year for 3 years in a row. We went to Ely, Minnesota. It's the furthest, most northern city in the continental U.S. And the sun would be gone at about, I don't know, maybe like 9:45, 10 o'clock, but it was like 11:30 midnight by the time it got mostly dark, and it never got like fully dark. You could always see like a light to the north. And then by like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, the sun was back up again already.
Right. Yeah, I think it's a no-brainer. Let me check the chat, see what people say real quick, and then I'll read the rest of this. Oops. What happened here? Now I've got something weird happening on my computer because I opened all these windows. Now when I click them, it's like opening up a new window. Where is our video? Here. All right, found the chat. Let's see what they say. We agree with you, Jeran, GLOBEBUSTERS. Okay, so you guys agree that it does get darker. I've charted the length of dusk, and it gets longer in summer and shorter in winter. So, I mean, this is turning out to be huge. I mean, this could be a globe destroyer. You have to time from sunrise to sunset to be accurate for the amount of light, not just the end of the day. No, that's not true. Don't listen to LC King. He's not talking about the same thing we are. What we're looking at is from the moment that the sun disappears until there's no more light left. That's what we're testing. Okay, because it doesn't matter about anything else. What we're testing is that light should increase as you're getting closer to summer, is what it does for us. So we'd expect the same thing in Australia. What they're showing is that no, their light gets less when ours is getting less. How would that be possible? That means that when ours gets more in our summer, they're going to get more, which is their winter. So that makes no sense on a globe. But let me see here. We've got go fast seen moon over other side of Earth, New Zealand. Yes, that's what it looked like. Summer, we have loads more twilight in the UK. Right. So this is a no-brainer in the north. So again, you would think that they would measure astronomical twilight, civil twilight, all that stuff by the sunlight residuals, but they don't. They've changed it to be the degrees below the horizon. Well, guess what? It's going to be the same. December 21st, the degrees below the horizon after set will be the same for the north as June 21st for the south, right? So, or December 21st for the north, our winter will be the same as theirs, June 21st. You would think, but it looks like that's not going to be the case. Wherever you are, midnight, the sun is due north. Very cool to think about. I do like that. It's important we start looking to the skies. This was taken from us. It's a gift. I believe so. I believe that, follow the sun. We probably can learn a lot about that. And then here's the other thing that excites me is if you think about the globe versus the flat earth, a lot of things are similar, right? Dave always says, puts in both baskets, that whole thing. Well, here's the thing. Think of the differences in the models. Number one, we've got the equator. According to them, it's straight. According to us, it curves. We've got the vast outer southern ocean that we have that the globe doesn't have. And look at all the things that conform to that, from undersea cables to no cruises to the plane flights that don't seem to be taking advantage of jet streams anymore in the south. So all these things lead us to believe that, yes, the south is an extended plane versus the globe that wraps it around the ball. Now, this thing here is another one of those things that would fit in the differences category, meaning that it wouldn't be explained on a ball. So when Dave talks about everything goes in both baskets, guess what? This cannot be explained on a ball Earth. There's no explanation for having more time after the sun sets when you shouldn't. And it should be opposite, not the same as the north. How would the north and south be the same at the same time of year? There's no explanation for it. We've got, thanks, Nimble Horse. It's been 3 decades since I remember. See if anybody else. Yes, I was a clear night, didn't get dark. There has never been midnight sun in New Zealand. There's never been midnight sun. No, I don't think it's. The crazy thing is, to me, is I would think, like, when I think of Australia, I think it is being much closer to the South Pole than, say, I am from the North Pole. But I don't think that's the case. I think it's kind of a weird thing. But the South, where is Australia? Like at 35 or 37? Well, think about this. This is one way to put it. So they are underneath the Tropic of Capricorn, right? As Australia is. Well, I'm nowhere near the Tropic of Cancer. So that's what I mean, is that I'm further north than Australia is south, and I'm in almost Southern California, mid-California. So mid-California is actually closer to the pole than Australia is. Without the sun, nothing would be here. Very true. It looks like it went over a few heads. Yeah, I think it is going to go over heads until people kind of grasp it, and I don't really know how to explain it any better other than to think about the fact that we believe that the sun has to move faster to cover more ground in the south, right? So people always say, well, wouldn't we see that? Well, the hard part about that is it moves 15 degrees per hour. It doesn't matter whether it's moving faster or not. Somebody's only going to see it move 15 degrees an hour. And if you kind of think of, I I don't know, a hand of a clock, let's say a second hand. If you have a second hand on a clock and it's moving around, you know, if you had an ant sitting on the outside of that second hand or on the, you know, the far end, and you had an ant sitting on the inside of that second hand and the thing was going around, well, technically, yes, the ant on the outside is moving faster, linear speed, but the ant on the inside is moving a slower speed. But also, they're both moving 15 degrees an hour, right? So if you kind of then picture being underneath that hand of the clock, and you happen to live underneath it, and you're watching it above you go around, the same thing would be true if somebody said, well, would you be able to tell that the outside hand is moving faster? Not really, because you're only going to be able to see it move 15 degrees an hour in your sky. So we've always kind of thought that there wouldn't really be a way. And then you've heard me talk about before that it's weird the way the sun sets in the south. I've had people say that it gets dark extremely fast there. And we've all kind of been lost about that. So if you now think about it, that the sun has to move faster in the outside track, how would we ever show that? Well, one way would be if, as it gets closer to the outside track, if that person is reducing their amount of light after the sun sets, then it's because of the speed of the sun. What else would be causing that? Again, if it was opposite of us, then we really wouldn't have an argument. But it's the same as us, meaning that for us, the sun is moving faster on the outside, so we also are getting less light as we approach December 21st. We're seeing less light after the sunset until it's completely gone. So then as we start to move back towards June 21st, because the sun is coming on the inner track and it's moving slower, well, then each person begins to see more sunlight after the sunset. So hopefully that makes a little more sense. It needs to be the opposite, not the same, meaning that in December 21st, one of us should be seeing longer light, the other one should be seeing less light. June 21st, same thing. One should be seeing longer, one should be seeing less. There's no mechanism on the globe Earth that calls for the same thing to happen to both people at the same time. The North cannot be seeing more and the South seeing more, and then the North sees less and the South sees less. That doesn't jive with the globe. Hello, Jeran, reading too fast, taking my comment to, oh, sorry. What's it say? QTA as a comment about the sun. Just 3 more letters, Jeran. Context. Yeah, I didn't know what that was. I thought it was a misspelling. See, only time is present. So everybody does agree then. In the North, they think that that is correct, that as we approach summer, so not right now, but as we approach summer, we would see more light after sunset. Yeah, and I believe that is the case. If it is, we might have something big on our hands. And so if you are in the South or you are in the North and want to take part in this, you could reach out t.me/Jeranism, and we're going to start a group. I don't have it yet, so just reach out to me and I'll put you on the list or get the group set up after the show. And then we're just going to have everybody in that Telegram group who can ask questions if they have it, but basically you just have to have a decent camera, point it at, oops, what's going on here? Sorry, my bad. Point it at the horizon or at the hills or the trees or whatever, and just see if you can tell 1 week to the next whether your light is reducing. I'm going to try it here. I wasn't going to try it first because I've got mountains on both sides, but somebody made sense when they said, why couldn't you also do it? I'm like, well, because I don't have a clear shot at the horizon. They said, well, aren't you just trying to see if you can verify whether we're getting less light out? So they're like, just do it from where. I'm like, you're right. I could still verify, even if I'm shooting it at a mountain, whether or not the amount of time after the sun sets is equal or greater or less than as time goes on. And I'm pretty sure we have this one down. So I'm kind of excited about this one because this is one of those things that if we can wrap this up into a tight little package, and this is the kind of thing I would go to news agencies with, press releases, try and mail it to colleges and schools, education centers, astronomical observatories. I think we should get it to all of them because this is something that there's no possible way you could ever explain on a globe. There's just no way. Anything that they say is causing it would then the opposite would have to cause it for us, right? That's the only mechanism. So they can't say something happens just to the south. Well, what do you mean? Why would that happen just to them and not us? What's the difference? So it should be 50-50. It should be a split thing. And we've already noticed some of these things that don't seem to jive. I think MH370 is out in the outskirts of the southern oceans, which are a lot of uncharted territory and an expanse that is bigger than people think it is, which is possible to do. You can just do it with GPS. You could hide that very easily. And no cruises down there. I showed many times that the flights going from Santiago to Sydney or Sydney to Santiago are clearly not taking advantage of 250 mile per hour winds because it takes them 14 hours to do 7,000 miles. So that means the plane is going 500 miles per hour. That's great. That's normal. However, we also know that there's a 250 mile per hour wind down there. So either you have to believe that the plane is actually flying 250 for whatever the hell reason that would be, is flying for 250 miles per hour and getting there in the 14 hours, or the plane is flying 500 and it's getting an extra 250 miles per hour. So it's actually going 750. And if you multiply 750 by 14, then you get closer to 10,000 miles, which makes more sense and kind of jives with the flat Earth map as far as the distance between Sydney and Santiago. So again, these are just interesting tidbits about the South. The no sea cables has always baffled me. We'll bring up a sea cable map here. I think that people have seen that a ton of times. And then now we've got this whole thing about the astronomical twilight being simply a mathematical thing. Well, of course, that if you're talking about when is the sun below 3 degrees and then 6 degrees and then 12 degrees, then it's going to be the same but opposite for north and south. So they've essentially hidden the fact that you're actually seeing more light because they don't care about that. They're just saying, oh, well, what we call twilight is when the sun is this many degrees below. Well, that doesn't say anything. If the sun is moving faster, causing that light to diminish, it doesn't change the fact of what you call 6 degrees or 12 degrees or anything. Again, it's moving 15 degrees an hour. So this is a clever way of hiding this.
And this isn't something that was ever brought up in school to me either, like what the sun looks like from different parts of the earth. Like when I was in school, they never said, oh yeah, and in Australia, when the sun sets, it's like gone. It gets dark real quick. So I mean,
never.
I don't know if they ever even really think about this, like real teachers that are trying to teach the truth. I mean, if you're trying to deceive somebody, yeah, you wouldn't mention it. But all the real teachers out there, I don't think it ever even crossed their mind that this is a thing.
Right. I think it would baffle them. I think, I've got a couple people I know that are teachers that the only thing I need confirmation of is that it's actually going down right now for the north. Because the only way I can see this being wrong is if my whole life it's a counterintuitive thing and we've just never really noticed that like the sun sets at 8:30 and it's dark by 9 in the summer. I mean, that's crazy to me because I know that you could be out till 10. And then that, that's the only thing that could be way wrong. And then it would just be really counterintuitive that during our summer, we have less time after the sun sets. And in our winter, we have more, which is insane because we know it's completely dark by like 6 in the winter. So this is the undersea cables map. And the way I describe this, I think works kind of well, is if you took this map right now and you grabbed it with 2 hands and you twisted it so it became an AE map, right? So you grabbed, the United States and we're going to turn it around so it kind of gets up there and makes an AE map. If you think about it, we wouldn't break any sea cables, okay? We wouldn't, oops, hold on a second. Oh, cancel. Something weird is happening with my computer today. Man, if I just click on OBS, it's opening a new version of it. I wonder why that's happening. Huh. If I left click anything, it's just opening a whole new version of it. So if you look here, if we took this map and kind of bent this around here, and you would notice that you wouldn't break any sea cables. But if we had sea cables running from New Zealand to South America, or from South America to South Africa, or from South Africa to Australia, and we tried to move the map into an AE, we would snap the cables, right? So if you think about that, that's a interesting way of determining whether if the map makes any sense. If these are really where the sea cables are, then this works on an AE map extremely well. And it would explain why there's no southern sea cables, because again, what would happen is they would have to contract for, let's say from Sydney to South America is like 7,000 miles, right? So they would say, okay, we need 7,000 miles of cable. All right, great. We go out there on the boat, we start laying the cable, we get to the end of the 7,000 miles and we're out of cable and we have a lot more plate. What? How did this happen? We're out in the middle of the water and we've run out of cable 7,000 miles. Then we get 7,000, and then we would be exposing the fact that southern expanse is much longer than we think. And so to me, there's too many things lining up for that. And again, this astronomical twilight thing is a absolute way to hide what we're saying is happening. And at first I was like, I wonder how they hide this on time and date. I mean, I was thinking, do they show it and we've just never noticed before? Or are they going to lie about how much time is left with light? And then when we started reading it last time on my show, it hit me what they're doing. They are, by changing it to, it even said that guy's site, right? Look how this thing opens a million times. It's so weird. It just keeps opening a new window. Wow. On that guy's video, here. Okay. So again, it's weird that they are. My computer is really. I don't know. Now my scroll bar doesn't work on my mouse. Weird. So right, this is what it's showing. It's showing, well, here's our day and here's our horizon. And as soon as the sun sets, well, now we see this at 6 degrees and this at 12 degrees. Right. But again, imagine this sun moving out here on this yellow line that we see. God, I hate not having my mouse wheel work. Okay. So think about the sun moving on this yellow line this way. Okay. Just kind of picture it setting this way. Now picture that we're on the inner track and the sun is going here. So people might start to realize that degrees mean nothing. Degrees mean nothing because if the sun is on the outer track, it's moving faster. And if you're moving on the inner track, you're still moving the same amount of degrees, but the sun is slower. It has less space to cover, right? So this has to cover, let's say this is the outer track and it's 50,000 miles. Well, the sun is going then, and we think that even the south probably is around 30, I don't know, it's a guess, 33,000 miles. So if you take 33,000 miles divided by 24, you get about 1,600 miles per hour. So the sun at the outside is moving 1,600 miles per hour, but if you go inside here, and we are, let's say, at the equator, we can even go more north than that, but at the equator, let's say it is 24,901. Well, then we know that the speed is 1140, right, or 1,000 miles 40 miles per hour. So now you can start to see where this is how you would hide the fact that these people, let's say somebody on the Earth, sees the sunlight, sees the sun set, and then sees sunlight for a certain amount of time. Well, the mechanism for that would be the speed of the sun, not this way they've set it up. This is dumb. This has nothing to do with light, right? This is just 6 degrees, 12 degrees, 18 degrees. But light would be different for somebody on the inner track versus the outer. If somebody's on the inner track and the sun's coming right above their head, then they're going to actually see the sun go by them, set, but since it's on this little track, it's going to be light for longer. And if it's on the outer track and it sets and it's moving quick, then you're going to see the sun set and then dark quickly because that's how it would work. So again, it's one of those things where we can look at if what we expect actually turns out to be the case, and especially when you can find one like Dave always puts these in baskets. Well, what if we found something that only goes in one basket? So let's see what this guy says here. Is this the time? This is time of day. I thought it was the other guy's site. So I wanted to finish reading and see if there was anything else he said in here. Get out of here. And my mouse thing is going to drive me crazy. There. So again, this is a terrible description. I mean, these are always the things that make you question. Why would you ever consider Twilight something to do with degrees? I mean, unless you think, oh, well, the sun's always the same. Well, like they even say, oh, it's atmosphere, it's scattering light, this and that. Well, then it has nothing to do with degrees. It would have to do with what the atmosphere is like, how long you see light after. So if it's civil twilight begins at sunset, the center of the sun at 0 degrees elevation until it's 6 degrees. Okay. Now, again, remember that. If you just look at that, then the north and south would be opposite, but exactly the same, right? Same, but opposite. Meaning that in the north, when it's 6 degrees below the horizon, you can call that twilight. And then in the south, if you did the same thing, 6 degrees below during their summer, well, then both people have identical twilights. How would they have anything different? And if it's nautical twilight is 12 degrees, well, the north, when they're in the summer and in 12 degrees, and the south, when they're in summer and 12 degrees, would be identical. So you're just talking about hiding this by making it look like the globe. What they're making it look like is, oh, all these numbers are equal. It's equal twilight for the north as in their summer as the south in their summer. Yeah, well, you're defining it as something completely, I don't know, it's not even in match with reality. It's just, you're just basing it on math and numbers. Let's see here. So astronomical twilight, the last and the darkest of the twilights it begins when the sun is 12 degrees below the horizon and ends when it reaches 18 degrees below. Okay, and let's go down a little further. Once the sun moves more than 18 degrees below the horizon, it is officially, it's not talking about when you actually see no light. It's just 18 degrees per hour. Therefore, it's officially night. And there is no sunlight lighting your location. Perfect for taking photos of the night sky. Again, this is a guess of when there would be no sunlight. What can I see during twilight? Oh my goodness, this thing is a nightmare. What can I see during twilight? Each of the 3 twilights has different levels of seeing, both down here on Earth and up in the sky. Since we don't know how far below the horizon the sun is, this simple guide will help you judge based on local conditions. Civil twilight. On the ground, you can still see everything clearly without extra illumination. You can still read a book, for example, towards the end of this period. Car headlamps need to be switched on and street lamps will be lit. In the sky, only the brightest objects will be visible, such as Venus and Mercury. Nautical. On the ground, light has faded now and objects become hard to distinguish from the background of each other. They seem more like silhouettes. You'll need additional lighting to carry on outdoor activities. Your color seeing gives way to shades of gray, and there is no longer enough light for your eyes to see in color. In the sky, the stars come out now, and constellations can be clearly seen. The sky itself will turn dark blue and be black at the horizon opposite where the sun set, and then astronomical twilight. On the ground, it is where we would all call night. It is truly dark. You will perhaps see the sky as dark blue or off black at the horizon nearest the sun. Otherwise, the sky will be black. In the sky, you will now be able to see deep space objects with one of these telescopes, blah, 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 blah. And for most of us, there is little to tell different between astronomical twilight and night, except for the slight differences in sky brightness at the horizon and the setting sun. So that's what we're talking about. And you've all seen it. When the sun sets, in fact, we can just go look at something here. So let's go sunset. We could do Australia, but it doesn't really matter where. So, see, this is most sunny time lapses. Oops, I was trying to turn it down. Let's see if we can see a sunlight. Now, here's the problem with all these is that nobody films the sunset like we need it, like we want it, because people film the sunset, not the sunset and then everything after it. So that's the problem is you have to find like 24-hour time lapses. Why is this thing opening everything in a new window now? That's weird. Let's see if we can find one here. Who would have thought that a scroll bar on a mouse was so important? Okay, let's see. Here's that Sydney. Let's see if we can find it.
Mine broke on my last mouse. That's when I realized how much I actually use that thing. I use it a lot.
I'm like doing it constantly. I'm like, damn it. I can't believe it. Let's see. Time lapse, beautiful ocean, sunrise, sunset. Again, it's tough because nobody really does what we need you to do. And I know for my P900, I only get about 2 hours of filming time on the camera. So that's why what you want to do is as soon as the sun hits the horizon, let's say, is this sunset or sunrise? Here's the sunset. So basically you would time it starting, now, start your clock. And now you're going to wait until there's no more light. So you can see that there's still light there. And you would just wait until that's completely gone in the camera. The second it's gone, you stop the stopwatch and say, okay, day 1 was an hour and 15 minutes. And then do it again in a week and see, are we going up or down with the amount of time after it sets until we see no light. Again, you're going to have a hard time finding them online because people don't film that way. I guess if I look up 24-hour sunsets or 24-hour time lapse. So again, look at that. Yeah, that's crazy. That's like the horizons right there. And again,
The thing I've still never seen is a 24-hour time lapse from, say, the north during our winter, to where you would be completely dark for 24 hours and actually see the stars do a full rotation. I've still never seen that
either. And I don't think I've ever seen, like, the moon should also get up there and then go around completely, right? In the north. You should see that.
Yeah.
I would think. Let's see, like this is a 24-hour time lapse, but again, some people are not going to show you the right direction if the camera doesn't move. So this is a rising sun, and we're not going to see the set. So it does, don't film the other direction. We would want to film why does this thing open a new window? And then I got to scroll, and I can't see the scroll bar. Where is it? There. Let me see if there's any here. Summer solstice in Stockholm. That's pretty good. This is going to be almost like a 24-hour sun. Where's Stockholm, Sweden, right? Yeah. So it's probably just going to rope around here. So funny because there's people, flat earthers, that say that the sun doesn't go around. It's like, well, explain this. This is in Sweden, and we're going to see the sun.
I know they say it's like the Pac-Man model.
Yeah, but it's like you can watch.
No, you can watch it.
Yeah, I mean, here, this sun's coming, and you'll see it's dipping down, and then it's going to come back up. And if you think about it, again, when the sun's on the outer track, this is what you would, inner track, this is what you would see from Sweden. So now you never even got really below the horizon. And this is just going to head off in this direction and come right back around and go around you and come back. And then when it gets it back over here again, it's going to go this way and kind of dip here because it's not quite in the 60-degree circle there. Let me see if we can find a better one here. 24-hour, 48-hour time lapse. No, we don't watch blizzards. Come on, scroll bar.
Yeah, I remember doing that way at the beginning, trying to figure out, what's going on. What is this place shaped like? What's the sun doing? And I worked with this old guy. He was in his mid-70s, and he was a geologist and traveled he rode his bike from New York to San Francisco and back 3 different times, like there and then back. And
Really?
then there.
What the hell?
Yeah. Like in the 60s, he did this. Once on one of those backpack bikes you could put on your back. Yeah, this guy was a nutter. But he had gone up there to the Arctic Circle during the summer solstice, and he said it was just for a weekend, but he watched the sun go around. And the coolest part was, he said, is that he didn't really get that tired. Like with the sun up in the sky like that, for some reason, he said you can stay awake almost all day. It's different.
This is in Helsinki. Now, I don't think they show the sun here. Is that the sun setting? Because they have winter versus summer. So if I could find the sun, but it's like they didn't point at it or something. Because if you see here, I can't really see where the sun is, but now we can say, look how quickly it got dark. So that's what I'm saying. So wherever the sun was, and it clearly is up here, the sky's blue. So let's say it sets now or whatever. Then you would time it from the time it sets, and then you would see, look how quickly it got dark. And now if we watch what happens in the summer, it's going to take, by the time the sun sets, we're going to see that, what they call astronomical twilight or whatever, take much longer. Let's see here. They should have pointed at the damn sun. I wonder why they didn't. Oh, here's a winter solstice in Alaska. So let's say the sun set now, and so you see the amount of time until it gets dark. You still see light, you still see light, you still see light, you still see light, still seeing light, still seeing light. See the difference? So I think it's a no-brainer. I think it's a no-brainer that in this north, well, hold on a second. Where's Helsinki? I don't even know where Helsinki is. Kontula, Helsinki? You know where that is? I should know that, I think. But I don't.
I'm not sure.
Helsinki. Yeah, Kotuna, Helsinki. Finland. Okay, good. Making sure it wasn't the south or something. Let me look at one. I saw this here. Where was that? Here, this one. Where was that? Fairbanks, Alaska, winter solstice. December 21st. So winter solstice is going to be, so this is all the way December 21st, meaning that in Alaska, now think you're in Alaska. Think of the flat earth map. Let's pause it real quick. So now we've got Alaska. Oops, that's not what I wanted. I guess I closed my, oh no, it's yours. Oh my goodness. Every time I click anything, it opens a new window. This is, okay, there. So if we think about what they're talking about here, what they're going to show here. So Alaska is way up here. Let's say, this person is there or something. Put a dot. Okay. And it's in the winter. So it's, the sun is going to be on the outer track here. And which is, I think, this line here. So we're going to be here. So, for them, it's going to be noon here, but the sun is going to be so far that they barely see it, right? It's barely going to peek over the horizon. What is going on here? Come on. Draw. Okay. What is... My computer is acting so weird. Brush is supposed to not draw lines. What's it doing? I am so confused. Let me clean this up real quick. Should just let me draw. Close that. Don't save. Okay, let's try again. Okay, where's that map? Is here. Open with. Oh no, I didn't use that. Just open. Sorry, my mic's not in front of my mouth. Let me move it over here. There we go. Let me just open this. Okay, not that way. Do it this way. All right, let's see if it lets me draw now.
Shift key might be stuck.
Shift key?
Or control key. I've seen people say both in the chat, that one of them might be stuck, and that's what's causing your mouse to not work properly.
I just pressed all the shift and mouse. Let's see what happens. Okay, so can we still see this? Yes. Okay. So if we were in here at Alaska, and now let's hope it draws. Yeah, you might be right. Maybe it was a shift key because now it allows me to draw. So if this person in Alaska, it means it would be noon here, but it would barely see. I don't think that's the right line. I think it's this one. I'm trying to follow it. Yeah. So, here they can barely see it. It's below the horizon, and then it just kind of skirts them, and it's going to stay at the horizon. And then here, as it gets farther away, right, if we drew a line halfway through. So, then from here, it goes below the horizon. Now it's all the way night, all the way around. And then basically they would pick up a sunrise, but it would be just on their horizon. Let's see what this is showing. So again, this is exactly what they would see. They're looking from a far distance. The sun's just getting high enough for them to see it, but it's now going to skirt this horizon, for a good amount of time before it dips down again. So again, this is probably about noon for them in Fairbanks. right? So the sun is the closest it's going to get to them right here. And then as it goes, so right now we're looking at this view here, about as the sun just crosses the horizon. So, and then there it goes. Now it's dipping. So when it's dipping is because now it's going to be hitting out here, and it kind of dips below the horizon for all this distance the rest of the way. There it goes. But it will stay because it's going to be very close, right? So you're going to be able to see that light as that light travels around. Oh, it's even going to go further? Oh, I ended the video. But, yeah, so maybe it does get pitch black there. I thought that in there... Oh, that's Alaska. That's not like the North Pole. The North Pole, it would be dark, supposedly, for the whole time. But again, so you're saying you haven't seen the 24-hour footage from the north, 24-hour time lapse, like Norway? Norway.
Yeah, at
Norway,
night
winter.
of like star trails.
Let's see here. So this is winter solstice, another one of these, winter versus summer, Norway. This is on December 21st and June 21st. At the same time? Must be. Yeah, that's a cool video. They're showing you the difference between, Norway's just going to have very little sun on the 21st. Look how quick that is. Gone.
Wow.
I mean, that tells us, everything we need to know. In the north, in the winter, look how fast from the time the sun sets, and it's dark completely. Now watch the summer. Again, the summer solstice, I don't think it gets dark at all, does it? In Norway? Pretty sure it doesn't.
I don't think so, yeah.
Yeah, so it's just 24 hours of light there. But, that's what should tell us that we know. That's really what should tell us that we should have more light, is that in the north, we know that people have 24 hours of sun. So if they're saying that people have 24 hours of sun in the south, but we're finding out that the south is, in the summer, you have less sunlight after it sets. That doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me on a globe, is what I mean. Let me close some of these, see if there's any other ones over here that we want to look at. Winter day at the Arctic Circle time lapse. Let's see where this is going. Sweden, Norway, I've seen a lot of stuff from them. I don't think there's much people living up northern Canada that far. So let's see where this is going to show us. And it's just going to be a little bit of light. I'm taking it. And so this is in the Arctic Circle up north. That's not a very good time lapse. Whoa, what is going on with the sky there?
Whoa.
That's crazy. That looks domish. What are these things? Isn't that crazy? I've never seen it.
Yeah, we see certain clouds just flying by, and other clouds in the back don't look like they're moving at all.
No, I've never even seen this in the sky before. I wonder if it's some sort of camera effect or something, because is that the moon? Wow, that's nuts. That's nuts.
That's wild.
And that's it. People suck. No, get more. You don't see me out filming time lapse for this reason. It's midnight sun in Longyear Bend. This is Fairbanks, Alaska. So this is winter solstice, just what we just saw. So you're going to see the sun cross the horizon and dip down there. So that's, again, all these things are what would be expected. I don't see anything that wouldn't be expected on a flat Earth, except for, again, they should have. So I'm wondering if we can find somebody who does the same thing in the south. That would be great, but probably not. Like summer versus winter. Australia. I guess I'd probably put in time lapse. What happens during winter solstice? Let's let this guy explain something to us. Earth's tilt reason for the season. This is going to be so bad. Watch this. Talk about misinformation.
Imagine that you live in North America, and one day you call up your friend in Australia. You guys are talking and you make plans to go visit him next summer.
So, anytime next summer works for you?
Yep, whenever's best for you. Surprise me.
In a few months, July rolls around and you hop on a plane for your Australian vacation. Imagine your surprise when you show up at his house and he tells you,
"What are you doing here, mate? It's the middle of winter."
And then you say,
"Winter? It's the middle of summer back in America."
And your friend's like,
"I don't know what to tell you. July is winter for us."
Okay, I don't get this. How can it be summer in America and winter in Australia at the same time?
That's a great question. I think we can help you out with that.
You have to get the Dave Weiss app. It's Flat Earth Summit and Zodiac Clock
To
app.
answer this question, we have to zoom way back and start with a top-down look at the Earth's orbit around the sun.
Here we go.
Oh, by the way, everything you see in this video isn't to the correct scale. Now, the Earth's orbit isn't a perfect circle. It's actually an ellipse. You usually see it drawn like this. Lots of people think,
Hey, this must be why we have seasons. When the Earth is close to the sun, we have summer. And when the Earth is far away from the sun, we have winter.
but that's actually not true. If that were true, it would be summer in America and Australia at the same time.
And we know that's not the case.
Exactly. The way we've drawn Earth's orbit here is really exaggerated. People just draw it that way to highlight the extremes. In actuality, there's a relatively small difference between the Earth's closest and furthest points from the sun. If we draw Earth's orbit with the correct shape, it looks like this. You can see it's actually pretty circular, but it's not perfect. So it's not the closeness of the Earth to the sun that causes the seasons. To see what's actually at work, we have to look at the orbit from the side. In our side view, the Earth is revolving around the sun in this orbital plane here. It takes 1 year to go through a full orbit, 365 days. Remember, at the same time, Earth is rotating on its axis once every day.
How did we ever believe this?
The important thing, for the seasons at least, is that
So
the Earth
convoluted.
actually isn't straight up and down. It's tilted at an angle of 23.5 degrees. So, when the Earth is on this side of the sun, the northern hemisphere is angled away from the sun. The southern hemisphere is angled toward the sun. When the Earth is revolving around the sun, it stays...
So I'm letting this play so you can see that if this were the case, then you have to expect equal but opposite north and south observations. Nothing in this example or nothing would ever explain why somebody in the south would basically be able to film the sun moving faster.
tilted in the same direction. The axis doesn't wiggle around. or
Iru!
anything. It just stays fixed.
How you doing?
¿Qué pasa, mi amigo? Hey,
Todo bien, todo bien.
do you have anybody that can film some sunsets for us down there?
I think so. Yeah, I can ask a few friends.
Okay, we're
and,
looking for maybe...
I think it's not going to be any problem.
Okay, watch back this show because we need like another person or two in the south. You tell me this.
I was
Hero.
watching.
Okay, good. So you tell me in your memory, in your life experience, do you have, if we talk about when the sun sets, so the sun is completely gone until you have no more light, is that amount of time longer in the winter or longer in the summer?
I for what I recall, I think it was in the summer. It takes much time to be dark, but the final moment it's almost instantaneously.
Right,
You know
because
what I
that's the
mean?
weird thing.
It's-
Well, you get more sun, right? So I mean, we know that the days are longer.
Yes,
But-
the days are longer,
Right,
but
but-
more quickly fade away. You know?
Right. Which, if that's true, I mean, we realize that's a huge problem because that's not explained on the globe. Because we here in the north, when it's summer and the sun sets, we see a long time until it's completely dark. But in the winter, when the sun sets, it's very quickly dark. So it
Yes.
should be the same for you, but it looks like, from what I can tell by a guy who's filming right now in Australia, he says every day that's passing right now is getting less and less. Well, it's about a minute or two a week. So it's not every day, but it's like but it's progressively moving towards December 21st when he says he will have the shortest amount of time from the time the sun sets until it's dark.
Into darkness, yes. Yes.
I mean, that's crazy.
That's the case.
The globe cannot explain that. So, yeah, if you could ask one of your buddies or somebody down there in the south just to film, even if they do like one sunset a week for the next 3 weeks or so, and then just start recording it when the sun hits the horizon and then stop recording it when there's no more light. That would be awesome. We're trying to see if we can...
Okay, I'm gonna ask because I have a lot of friends in cities, but I have a few at least. I don't know if you had the equipment, but at least they can film with the cellular phone or something like that. But I'm gonna ask.
Yeah, even a cell phone would work. I mean, especially because you could plug it in, you'll get more time. Like my camera, well, I don't know. I'm sure you can plug in a P900. I just always use the battery. But yeah, if they can use their cell phone even, because it doesn't matter what you use. We're just gauging the amount of time we can still see light after the sun. So if you're using a weird camera with weird settings, as long as you use that every time you do it, you should get the same results. And then,
Okay.
Austin was talking about getting a tachometer. There's some different type of maybe that's not the right name, but getting a meter that's a lux meter, basically. But I told him, let's just hold off on that and wait, because if this does show what we think it does, so we get a couple people to confirm, yes, in the north, as we get closer to December, we are losing the amount of time that we see the sun light after it sets. Then once that's confirmed, then we can go from there, which will be really having somebody do it professionally somehow, either with a lux meter or something like that, because then we've got something huge. I don't know how they could ever get out of it.
Well, they can explain with this type of drawings, cartoons like this.
Right, but how would they explain why it's different in the north versus the south?
Snoopy Dog
what?
did it.
Snoopy Dog?
Yeah, they can explain whatever they want with this type of graphics.
Man, goodness gracious, yeah, you're probably right. They probably can. It's so funny. They got all these things of how this works and how this works. Oh, that's pretty good. I never even seen that.
Yeah, in this type of explanation that I was watching, it's the funny thing is that they say, for example, this is not the the real scale about the heliocentric ellipse orbit, but when they trying to show that all depends in the tilt of the axis of the Earth for the seasons, they don't even at least trying to explain the scale, because from my point of view, you need to show me to prove that in comparison, the size of the sun with the Earth, just because you tilt 23 degrees from your summer and your winter is going to have all that huge difference, and Antarctic never melt down. The scale about supposedly the giant sun,
right?
And you take another tiny sphere. I think it doesn't matter how much you tilt the sphere; it's going to burn it out.
Yeah, I think so too. I've always thought that. I'm sure on Google Earth to see if we can see if it shows anything. I doubt it, but if I go to, so I want to go to December 21st here. Let me go to here. Make this how I move forward. That's going to go day by day. Let's go one down, and that goes month by month. Okay, so now we're going to go December 21st. Okay, so now we're talking about let me go back a little bit. 23rd, 20th. All right. So we're at the 20th. Oh, you guys can't really see that. Anyway, it is the 20th. It says up there. And it is at 8 p.m. I put myself in where? Like up near Washington. And now I'm going to go with the sun here. Let's go up so we can get to more minute here. Okay. So now we're seeing it's 8:44, 9, 11, 12, 1, 2 a.m., 3 a.m. Oops. And we want to watch the sunset. Oops. Am I looking west? Oh, I'm looking north. Let's get looking west. What's going on here? Is my shift button stuck again? I've never seen Google Earth do that. Okay, let's exit the ground. Let's now move over there. Okay, so now we're looking west. And let's see there. Let's see if we can see the sunset. Hold on, where's the sunset? Look up here. Okay, where are we at here? So we are at the 21st. Oh, but it's going to set way south of west. Sorry, my bad. We had to look south of west. So this is here. So that's going to be more like there. Why don't I see the sun setting? There we go. Okay. So, basically what we're saying is if this person were to film right now, December 21st, as soon as the sun sets, you would get dark very quickly. And that's kind of shows it. I'm assuming it's going to show the same thing for summer, but let's see. So if we can even get into more detail here. So now we're doing hour by hour. You can see that if we started the camera right now, and then we start the time clock there, and then we're just going to wait and see how long do we have light. So really with this, if we kind of watch that, we would say already here, there's no light to be seen there. So we're talking 7:35 p.m. And what time does it show? It hit that thing. I'm not saying this is correct. I'm just using it as an example to show you. So right there we would start, which is 6:06, and it would go till there-ish. So 7:22. So 6:06, 7:22, just for an example. So that would show us that there's an hour and 16 minutes of light. Again, we're just pretending this were real. So then what we could do is then change the date to June 21st. Okay, June 21st. And then we're going to go back to the set here. And now we know that it's going to set to our northwest here about. Let's see if we can bring this through. Go, go, go. It's going to take, it's moving 20 minutes at a time. Let's go this way. Move a little faster. 5, 6. We should see it here. There we go. Okay. So now let's go back up here. So now the sun sets at, oh, that's really slow. Let's go one more under. Okay, now we're going to see the sun sets right there. So we see it, right there at 9:19. And let's see when we see no more sun. But again, this is also going to be going mathematically, not actual real, right? So we're going to see the light is out already at 10:42. So again, this is showing 9:19 to 10:42. 42 minus 20 would be 22, 23. So 123. So it's basically showing, and again, this is not exact, but it was showing the winter is 116 and the summer is 123, which is about what I was showing on time and date. So this is basically using the same algorithm, right? So when the sun is a certain amount of degrees below, then they just shut off the light. But let's see. So that's the north. Let's go see what we would, if we move our person now to the Australia, let's see if we see anything different or if it just shows the same thing. I'm guessing because it's doing it mathematically, it's just going to show the same thing. But let's find out. Where is my exit? Let's look down here. Okay, so now we're going to go down to the world down under, over and across. How's your map coming, Zach?
Not too shabby.
You got everything working again, though? I know you're having.
No, I can't get into it by myself. I can, like, if Nemo or Jeran will jump into it, I can join their session through the Fortnite game. But no, the UEFN, I can join it on other maps, but for that map, for some reason, I can't get into it.
Weird.
It's so messed up. Jeran can't figure it out. We even loaded it onto a laptop, the whole system and everything. And I got in one time, and as soon as I closed it out, because it was getting too hot, it crashed, and then it wouldn't let me get back into it, just like my computer.
How weird.
Yeah, really weird. He doesn't know what's going on. He says it's got to be something with my actual profile on the Epic Games, whatever. I don't know how all that works, but yeah, something to do with my profile and that map. There's like something conflicting. I don't know all that stuff, but yeah, he couldn't figure it out. He sat here for like an hour, a couple of different days. Just, he's interested, when he sees stuff like this, he wants to figure it out. It's like a puzzle to him.
Right.
Yeah, and he couldn't. He's like, I'm not sure. But yeah, I still got I think Australia and a couple islands have to decorate. And we have a map that's ready to play for all the... Here, let me... I'll show you what's going on.
Yeah, let me just finish this up. So I just, again, this is going to... You can't really calculate by this. But it looked like to me, if we lose light there at 4:02, looked like 3:03 was the time the sun sets. So it's 4:02, what did I say? 4:03 to 3:03, so 1 hour. So here it's showing 1 hour of light on the June, which would be their winter. And then if we change that to December, let's get up there. 9, 10, 11. Wow, that really moved. That was crazy. Let me watch the sun again for a second. Why did it look like it jumped far? Huh. Okay. December 21st is going to be, oops. Let's get back, go back. 21. Let's go 20. Okay. Now we're going to spin back over this way. And let's see here. Oops, that's not right. One more.
Man, you are the Google Earth Pro.
Oh, so good at it. You have no idea. But
you have a whole career on it.
Yes. So much so. Okay, so then it sets there. Let's see. So thereabouts, and then that's at 4:28. And you lose the light at 5:30 or 4:28 to 5:34. 4:28, 5:34 would be at hour 6. So yeah, both places show the same thing, right? They're basically repeating what time and date shows, which again is crazy. If you go to time and date and look at the opposite places they match as far as what they call astronomical civils twilight. But again, they're basing it off of degrees below the horizon, not actual residual light. So, did you say you have something you wanted to present about the sun or something, or no?
Well,
sorry.
Yeah. I have, maybe it's not related with this topic. I have a few things, but I think you cover a little bit about the Kepler's law. And then for me, one of the, I like to divide in different perspective about the sun, because of course we need to explain the seasons. But that for me, when you start studying the Analemma, is a little easy, at least to transfer the mechanics in one model to the other, and then it's your choice. You decide what is more, what have more sense to you.
That's a good question. Let me ask you that. So on the Analemma, what is their explanation for having the bigger circle in the south?
I think I saw one upon a time. I saw a video on internet from a heliocentric guy that create computer simulation. What they say is that, of course, the elliptical, the eccentric, I don't know if it's the correct word in English, but the factor, the elliptical factor on the orbit, like the video that you showed before, where the girl said, okay, if you draw this in scale, it's a circle, that for sure. But because we are so tiny, we perceive that with that huge amount of difference. So the guy who is plotting the numbers and presented as a computer simulation, they just base okay, we are so tiny in comparison with the sun that that tiny factor of elliptical orbit we perceive with this difference. That is the only explanation that they give.
Wow.
They don't have any other explanation. Of course, you need to start from the beginning, trying to understand what is the case that the sun is, much bigger than the moon, for example, but we see in the same size. And then you need to go to the Maximilian Hale parallax measurements, trying to define the astronomical unit based on of a spherical Earth. So you need to, at least that is the way that I like to see when we discuss this topic with honest people. Of course, it's okay, at least you need to start with the beginning, that the astronomical unit starts with a lot of assumptions. The first one is that of course the Earth is a sphere, but also that the Venus planet is almost the same size as the Earth.
Right.
Because if you don't contemplate that, you cannot do the math.
Correct.
You cannot do the parallax. So you have a lot of things at the beginning, and that it's like a patch over another patch. And of course, at the end of the day, the decision is of the person that is studying the flat Earth model and the heliocentric model, because it's gonna be like a neck bottle in your mind. You're gonna need to pick one or the other model, and you don't have any other choice. It doesn't matter how intelligent people are trying to convince you. Both model has good points and bad points. For me, the flat Earth has much more good points than bad points in this case, for example.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that if you look, at where the sun would be for each location, and then you drew that kind of Analemma, it's going to make sense on a flat map a lot better. The globe I don't think the globe explains why there's a bigger loop at the bottom.
No, well, they trying to match with the idea of the pear shape of the Earth.
Oh boy.
Yes, because that is something, at least in terms of the official model, they need to address that. That is where it comes, the idea of the pear shape. That, of course, everything is like a tiny factor. Because we are so small, we perceive like a pear shape. But if you transfer that into reality, yes, the Earth is a little more chubby in the south, but not so much as a pear shape, of course. But they need to say it. And then if you, for example, compare that with Hervé Boni, the guy who goes around the world with the ship, I don't know how to say in English, say the sailor, he measured that. Yeah, the south is much, much bigger. In fact, we have an official flight from Argentina to Australia, to Sydney, called the Transpolar Route. Of course, it's not even near to Antarctica, but if you try to go much, and that is on YouTube, if you try to go much near to the south, the flight took 18 hours and a half. And if you're trying to go inner, I mean, if you just take a regular flight with Qantas, for example, from Argentina to Sydney, you're gonna, maybe 14 hours, like 5 hours less. And supposedly you are, using a shortcut if you go to, to the bottom of the globe. But in reality, if you're trying to go, quote unquote, on near to the bottom, you take more time, which is weird.
Yeah,
I don't know if I can explain correctly.
No, it
but
does.
You have the flight live on YouTube, and the pilot, it's an Argentina pilot, Capitan Marcelo Diaz, saying this is the most longest flight ever made.
Right.
In the south, of course.
Yeah, and I like the stuff that you have when you show the sun going away in your little simulation, I mean, this to me is just not explained well anywhere on the globe. The southern end of the loop is bigger. So again, I mean, these things are just all lining up to me as evidence of a bigger path of the sun in the south and a faster path.
It's much, much bigger. It's not just a little bit bigger.
No. So what you're taking here is you're actually taking pictures of the sun do its little orbit, and then it's doing its big orbit in the south. Because what you're taking is
I can open a few PowerPoint if you
please,
like. Let me just
by all means, I'm just looking at some things here. Like, what is this? Image reversal of the solar Analemma shadow. Stick shadow shortest in the summer. Sun lowest in the winter. Yeah, this is for us in the north. I mean, that's what we would expect, but we would see sun rays are coming down, hitting the stick, so you'd have a short stick. Sun highest in the summer, right? Lowest in the winter. Okay. I'm just seeing if there's anything explaining. I've never heard anybody try to explain the fatter loop.
Now, I thought, you notice how the sun gets bigger to us during our winter? I thought that had something to do with how low it was. From like 41 degrees north in northern Indiana on the solstice, winter solstice, it was only 27 degrees up in the sky. That was the highest it was that day.
Uh-huh.
And the sun was, I think, 5 or 6% bigger than it was during the summer solstice when the sun was at its highest point in the sky. I always thought that just had to do with there's more atmosphere, so it was making it bigger. Now, is the sun bigger during your summer, Iru?
They again, if you ask the heliocentrists, they would say yes, measurably, but barely, like by like 3%, I think, or something.
Okay, no, I cannot say that because I don't take the measurements of the size.
Well, yeah,
of,
and again,
of the sun.
3% is going to be hard to tell. You'd have to have a solar filter, be perfect. It's going to be hard for us.
Yeah, I measured it. It's barely noticeable. The sun.
Yeah, the
moon is more like 11 to 13%. The moon was really easy to tell that it changed sizes, but the sun was barely off.
Yeah, and for me, the problem with that is that nobody have, it doesn't matter if you are a heliocentric guy or flat Earth, but nobody has those observations above the atmosphere. So if you start putting that as a factor, maybe those the measurements that you mentioned, if you have a magnifier, which is the atmosphere, could be like a factor of 10 of reality, because when you go up and you start looking at the moon, for example, above the 30 kilometers, it's super tiny in comparison when you saw from the ground. So of course, every little change, it doesn't matter. We don't know exactly how much the suns go away or get closer. But if you have this type of magnifier, it's going to be like a multiplier, of that real movement that supposedly we have. So there is no any evidence of the sun, above the 30 kilometers where you can study maybe a little bit better without the intervention of the atmosphere. And that is a key factor. And I mean, everything is from the ground, and it's with the atmosphere in the middle.
Right. I thought I saw a video here. I was going to see if somebody did it, but do you have your stuff ready? You want to do it now, or you? Whenever you tell me, I'm still looking at something here.
Okay, yeah, because I have a lot of things about the sun, but in so many different PowerPoint that I trying to find the one that has the more updated about the sun dilemma. Let me give me 2 minutes more.
Okay.
2 more minutes.
Yeah, we're watching. This is a 3-year Analemma time lapse, which will be pretty cool to see. So basically, what you do is you go out every day and take a photo at exactly noon, and you'll see that the sun's going to start to draw a path, and it's going to be that figure 8 path that we've all seen, obviously the infinity symbol. And you'll also notice that the top is a much smaller loop than the bottom, which again I've never heard explained on a ball Earth, whereas on a flat Earth it's because this path is a longer path, it's moving faster again. Kind of what we've been showing. That's awesome. I would love to do that. Have you ever seen what they call like a pinhole camera that you do with like a beer can? There's like people who have put up, you take like a beer can and you cut a little hole in it and then you like put it into a tree and you could just leave it up there for months and then you get this beautiful sun, because every day it like takes a picture of the sun. It's crazy. Is it called beer can?
Yeah, they say the ancients used to be able to see sunspots doing that.
Really?
They would put a little pinhole into something and project that image, and it would magnify it and make it much larger.
Let me see if it's what. Yeah, look at these. These are all the pictures. Look at making a 6-month pinhole exposure from a beer can. You get pictures like this. So this person just put a beer can out inside of their house with. You have to buy photo paper and then wrap the inside of the beer can with photo paper, and then you just stick it into a tree and point it towards whatever direction you want. And then this is the sun rising and setting every day. And in fact, it was kind of crazy when I first started seeing this. I was like, wait, what is this shape? But the shape does have a lot to do with the can, right? The inside of the can is curved. So that's why it kind of gives that weird appearance like this. Look at this one. Yeah, I would love to make one of these. It's pretty awesome.
That is wild.
Yeah, makeshift beer can pinhole camera accidentally captures the longest known exposure. Oh, I've heard about this story maybe. In 2012, while studying for her MA Fine Art degree, she lined a beer can with photographic paper and built her own pinhole camera. She placed the can on a telescope at the university's observatory and eventually forgot to retrieve the can, accidentally creating perhaps the longest exposure ever taken. It's the sun rising and setting for 2,953 days, a period of 8 years and 1 month. So this is the 8-year, 1 month exposure. It's crazy. And I think you can even buy, this is how easy it is. It's just a beer can. You pop the top off, put the photo paper that you can buy on Amazon for $5, Kodak photo paper inside, cut a little hole here, and then you just put it up and it collects light all day and then gives you an image at the end of however long. You can put it up for a week, put it up for a month. That's not going to help us with our little test, but pretty cool. Here's 1 year long exposure.
Later in this video, I'm going to show you how you can build those. Ist doch scheiße.
So she'll show you. I'm going to probably do one of these. I've got a pretty good view of the Sierra Nevadas here. It'd be kind of cool to see the sun rising every day.
Whew. Here we are, first camera.
Did she show us how to make it?
Yeah, I got to say, when I was out there on the Colorado River in California, those were some of the prettiest sunsets I had ever seen.
Oh, yeah, it's so beautiful.
The sky is just so wide open and huge. You can see the whole horizon, and then you see like a mountain that's just pitch black. And then this orangish, yellowish that turns into a bluish, pinkish that eventually goes purple and then dark. But it's just, I have so many pictures of sunsets from out there. It's ridiculous.
Is that all you have
Just
to do?
hundreds.
You don't have to develop the photo paper? I'm confused.
That it is okay to fix this piece of paper, while some other people say that it could destroy your image. So best way to just handle it is open it up, scan it one time, and then store it away. But one more thing to take into account. This piece of paper is still sensitive to light. So if you leave it out in an area where it will get hit by the light for a long time, it will slowly fog and then turn all gray. So to avoid this, it's best to store it away in a rather light, tight area after scanning. And for that, I will simply use one of those sleeves with 2 thicker cardboard pieces of paper in there, so I can simply... This is what we're left with. It's a rather abstract shape, and all we know is that it's a long exposure, and of course it's a negative. So first I'm gonna open it up in Camera Raw and turn the negative into a positive. To do so, we're gonna go to the...
Well, how did she get it on the computer? She scanned it? How did she get it on the computer?
Invert this curve by dragging this point all the way here and this point all the way here.
Wow, that's cool.
And now I think it's a bit more clear what we're looking at here. To show you a bit better, first I'm gonna brighten up the picture a bit. But here is where it might get a bit confusing. Since we inverted the curve, all of the menu settings are also inverted. So to brighten up the image, instead of going this way, we have to go this way into the direction to make it darker. But I'm just gonna slightly increase the shadows a bit, so we will get a better idea of what's going on in here. And now I think is a good time to explain to you what you're looking at. This is a long exposure of the sun, so the lines we see in here are actually the sun trails. The beer can camera took a picture of the...
Wait, so she's saying, I'm kind of confused. So she's saying that the light down here is the sun? Like, so it stays that low throughout the day? It only goes... Where's she at? Anyway, that's kind of weird to me. I thought that we would see things up high, but this is looking like super low. I wouldn't think that you would be in a place that, this is what I would expect. Like, and even that's pretty low, but I guess I have to think about where I'm at. Well, the sun does come up quite a bit. I mean, that's really low if that's as high as the sun gets. I guess maybe I'm seeing it wrong.
Just a little bit higher than the lowest at 41 north. I would say maybe...
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, it stays pretty low. 27 degrees really isn't that high in the sky.
Later in this video...
Sorry, I didn't mean to click her again.
And if she's far up there north in Europe somewhere,
yeah, maybe
she doesn't sound American.
I mean, this is one that you would see from like somewhere where I'm at. I think that's so cool though. It looks amazing. What is this one? Oops, not that one. I'm gonna go one.
Yeah, there was a question about the Analemma from your position, Iru. Do you see the larger part at the top, reversed from what we see in the north?
Supposedly, I don't know exactly. Because I didn't take an Analemma.
See if we can find one. That's a good question.
Because I don't have a camera, and I am not a guy of cameras. I am a guy of computer simulations. But I need to. I think depends always, or not always. I think depends also where you take the observation in terms of if you are aiming north or you are aiming south.
Right, so this is kind of still confusing me here. It says the Analemma is oriented with the smaller loop appearing north of the larger loop. At the North Pole, the Analemma would be completely upright with an 8 with a small loop at the top, and only the top half would be visible heading south. Once south of the Arctic Circle, the entire Analemma would become visible. Hold on a second. Hold on. Wait, once south of the Arctic Circle. Okay. So then, if that's true, then in the south you should see the opposite, right? You should see the complete opposite, which would be the bigger loop at the top in the south. Am I correct? What did the person in the chat ask that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always wondered.
I believe it was Stephanie.
But I think that either way, it kind of makes sense to me. Like if it were a bigger loop in the north, well, that wouldn't make sense because no, I don't think you should see it with a bigger loop in the north. I don't know if I've ever seen that. Let me see if we can find Analemma from the south. Let's see if we go videos.
And I think this all has to go into with what you were talking about earlier, Jeran, that the sun has to be moving faster, covering more land, we should say, when it's on the outer edge. When it's at the Capricorn, that it's actually covering more ground. It's only 15 degrees per hour, but that 15 degrees is covering much more land. So I think that's why the Analemma turns out the way it does, because it is moving faster in the outer south region.
It looks like they're going to draw as it does have a bigger loop at the top. Let me see. So it's not even much of a loop. What is that? That's the Analemma?
Yeah, I don't see it crossing.
Well, that maybe it's so in the south, like near Antarctica.
They don't even see the cross?
You are not able to see near the equator where the cross is.
Oh, produced. I see. You mean it's down here?
Yeah,
I got you. Okay, got you.
Yeah, the thing. What I ask for Sherry. I ask in terms of.
Let's do it.
But just for drop a few things on the table, nothing special there. Because.
Where are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
At least a strange. Let's put it in that way. A strange thing. I'm gonna just not randomly, but I'm going.
We know how you work. We know how you. We like you for that reason. Okay, so just do it, whatever you want to do.
So if you take, for example, the Gleason map and you draw for every quote-unquote point of view on the Earth, you can see from the top, you can see this type of, this is a projection of the Analemmas, put it into a Gleason map. Then, for example, you have this type of, I have here, this type of time lapse of the Analemma, taking it's around. It's like a whole complete year with based on the day and based on the year. So you must understand that before this is just taking one shot of the sun. And when you see this drawing, is because you are filming the time lapse of the duration where the sun passed left to right. In this case, in the sky. So if you start,
where was that taken from?
It's writing in some Norwegian.
Well, I was gonna say that country. It seems pretty far. If you think about
this is north.
Remember we were talking earlier about how the that's great. I mean, it actually looks like it's going around you. And
that is gorgeous.
It's going around you.
There's flat earthers that say that the sun doesn't go around the north.
Well, this is what these people see. Then, at least, again, I'm going to open a few random things. For example, something that it's crazy, and that is why I mentioned before, the factor that we cannot go up with a stable, platform and do our, for example, an Analemma from 45 kilometers above the ground. And that, and why I ask I say that because, for example, if I show you the shape of the Analemma from the ground, let me open this one. From the ground, of course, you're going to see this. Mm-hmm. We have the Analemma and we have the Lunalema. We call Luna, Moon, Munalema. I don't know how to say in English. But the thing is that, for example, if I present you this as a regular observation of the Analemma, you see the cross of the sun and things like that. But if you have the chance to go up, not 45 kilometers, I mean up, really up, and you start changing perspective, that becomes like a quote-unquote deformed type of circle. And why I show this? Because when you go to hyperbolic geometry, non-Euclidean geometry, things like that, you're going to have like different projections of the same shape, and the shape is going to change the final shape of what you are seeing. For example, if you draw an Analemma on the sphere, but also the same vectors on the torus, in the torus, you have the shape that I showed before. But if you have like an inner inner dome, this same shape is going to become an Analemma. So that is why it's so deep. It's like we living not in the holographic world, but we have this, I don't know how to call it, this screen projector in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
That is going to change a lot of things if you're looking under the dome, if you want to see, because we don't know exactly what the sun is doing. For us on the ground, if you just imagine on the center point, you just draw a circle, and we live in that plane of inertia,
Mm-hmm.
and we look up, we see like a concave shape. Our sky,
Mm-hmm.
for us on the ground, is a concave shape. Maybe for someone outside the system, it's like a sphere, hemisphere.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So maybe the sun is not doing this Analemma in terms of the literal shape. Maybe it's doing this, and all we need is just change our point of view. But because we are looking from the ground, and we are looking the sun being projected in the screen called sky, and also with perspective, we think that it's a number 8. That doesn't mean that it's the reality. In fact, if you go to Gnostic knowledge, you have the golden crux, which is the Analemma and the Lunalema, and that is why they depict as a double helix. How you say in English? Double
helix. Yeah.
Helix.
Mm-hmm.
Double helix. Our heart is a double helix.
Mm-hmm.
Our heart, when you unwrap, it's not a different muscle. It's only one muscle. In the helio,
twist in it. It's amazing.
Yes, it's a helix.
So beautiful.
Yeah. And then if you just, this I like to relate it, but in English is earth, and you change and you have the earth,
Right.
So you start having all this connection, at least for me, where this is the black sun, and then you have the double serpent. This is not for Christians.
Right, and you got even the Nazi symbol. The Nazi symbol is the rotating sun. Yeah.
The Jesuits don't talk about this.
Yeah.
They do in
don't
secret.
Take this as a Masonic things, because this is not from the Masonic or the Jesuit. This is just all and twist.
It's just Eru only. Eru, I'm running to the bathroom. You're in charge for 2 minutes. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, man. So here you have the anode, the cathode, you then have the yin and yang shape, and this is how a lot of people in the ancient times depict the idea of the dance that produce the moon and the sun and the Analemma and things like that. Of course, the Analemma is not like the Analemma is not like 1 and 2 cross. Of course, we saw just 1 cross, but there is like a eternal dance between the sun and the moon, doing a shape like an X shape or like a cross shape. For me, it's more an helix with 1 twist, of course. But it's crazy in terms of that until we don't get up in the sky and we can see without the intervention of the atmosphere, we don't have the real shape being produced by the movement of the sun and the moon. Until then, of course, if we see from the ground, we can see infinite loop. I mean, this shape allow an infinity loop. The only thing that you need is a twist. In this case, to pass up and down from 2 objects. If you have been the magnet, the sun, and you have the moon underneath, of course you can have that dance and without touching each other and things like that. And you can have eclipses and you can have an infinite loop of movement.
Yeah, they call that a Mobius strip.
Yeah.
In English.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But
is there
again,
a name for it in?
Yeah, the same name. Is the
same thing. Name. Mobius.
Yes. And again, here you have a perspective where it's based on perspective that supposedly this track it's just making a cross over the other, but in fact it's not. In fact, it's just never touch, never cross. It's just an open, deformed, quote unquote, circle with when you have positive curvature, negative curvature in terms of hyperbolic geometry. So I think outside this ground, outside our system, everything becomes a little bit more crazy in terms of trying to just explain based on Euclidean geometry. Like this is a circle, this is a number 8. You don't really know what's going on outside the so-called system. Then, of course, for example, you have people that map that is the sun that is circling, and at the same time you have the lateral point of view, and this is based on the horizon that it's appear to go up and down, but we know that that is just perspective. It's never go up and down in the same day, of course. Along a year, yes, apparently we have a high altitude and a lower altitude, depends of where you are in the world. But again, we don't know how much is the factor that belong to perspective and belong to this Euclidean geometry and what's going on up there. It's a little more difficult. Here you have another time lapse just taking picture. This is in Edmond. Again, you have the bigger circle in the bottom because this is taken from north. What more else? Then we have, let me see.
Have you ever read any of the old stories out of India, like the Bhagavad Gita?
Bhagavad Gita. Well, I read a long time ago, and
yeah, I did too, and I had no idea that it was supposed to be about the sun and the moon. And I was reading it, and it didn't make a whole lot of sense. And I was like, well, but I have it right here. I'm going to read it again now that I know that it's supposed to be about the luminaries.
Yeah, and everything is about luminaries. And I talk about that in I think it was in the last summit, because when they say we live under this or this idea to build the Solomon Temple, a lot of people, they take as a Gnostic name, because Solomon is like saying sol, which is equal to sun in Latin, Spanish language. Then you have which is sound, and then you have Solomon. When you combine this, when you have this, it's like saying moon. So we live under the Solomon Temple, which is the sun, the sound, and the moon temple. We have light, we have shadow, darkness, and sound, vibration. So it's like a allegory, and everything or not everything, a lot of things in the antiquity cultures is this. This is the Solomon Temple. This is the Solomon Temple. You have the sound, the infinity potential energy to manifest matter, which is the center, the black sun, if you want to. But it's not the black sun. You can call a black hole, or you can call infinity potential manifestation energy. And then you have moon and sound and the sun. So this is Solomon Temple. It's not a building. If you want, you can create a building to, to honrar, to
imitate,
worship.
mimic, worship.
No, to worship, but that word is not something that I like. But you can create a place and say, okay, that building is in honor of the sun, the moon, and the free energy to create reality. But this is the Solomon Temple: sun, moon, and sound, or
frequency.
Infinity. Yeah, frequency. The middle is a frequency. It's a double helix of the light. The light being supposedly perpendicular and the other transversal. So this is the light, but not the light. It's the field, the electromagnetic field. Not the light as a light.
The ether. That's what I call it, the ether. Electromagnetic.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what I think the ether is, it's the electric field and the magnetic field together.
Yeah, exactly. And then you have the luminaries, the sun and the moon, and then you have the temple of Solomon.
And it all works with the right-hand rule. We have our positive flowing from up above to below. So if you take your thumb and point it down, then the way your fingers are curling would be the path of the magnetic field. It will curl and it'll go around, and that's exact. Everything moves in that direction. Nothing goes from west to east. Not one luminary goes
and
west to east. They all follow the same right-hand rule pattern.
I was looking, I don't know if I can't find it, but I have a picture of a person that using geometrical patterns when you put, I don't know if you saw it, but when you overlay one on each other, this type of designs, you suddenly appear a human face based on frequencies. I don't know if you, but I screen capture the Instagram account, but I didn't download it until now. So I'm gonna try to find it and show, because when you start thinking in in energy, vibration, and how is the phrase in English of Tesla, if you want to understand the secret of the universe, you must be think in terms of frequency, vibration, and energy. Right? I think I have it. I'm looking into my cell phone. That is why I. But again, when you start looking, at least this is another interpretation of maybe what the sonoluminescences are in our sky. That could be, some type of light manifestation that we call stars, for example. Of course, this is just an idea. Nobody's saying that this is for real. But again, I understand the heliocentric guys where they are living in so materialist world that they cannot maybe understand that this world is a little bit more magic when you start trying to explain things that you cannot go there to, to prove directly. You cannot.
Oh yeah,
prove directly.
physics is so complex, and you can do so many things, and make it things appear to look a certain way that really aren't that way with physics. It's amazing how you can manipulate the human mind with physics. I mean, even the books of old in the Bible, the starting a fire by pouring water right around this pyre, and in reality, all you had to do was bury a little bit of sulfur, make, I think it was 7 jugs. 6 of the jugs could have been naphtha, a odorless, very flammable liquid that's clear, and you pour that around, and then you pour the water, the last jug, on the sulfur, which creates heat, a chemical reaction, which gets hot enough to then light that naphtha on fire. So it looks like you could do miracles if you actually know how physics works and you can fool other people with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, the creator could definitely be fooling all of us. I mean, we don't know.
Well, yeah, maybe he's not fooling us. Maybe we
just haven't figured it out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Don't give that
us. We just haven't figured it out. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. We cannot figure it out. But again, there is you have, for example, when I present this before, I mean, take a look of this. Maybe there is the projection of a center point. Well, blah blah blah. No, this is too fantastical. But you believe in the curvature of space-time. So, what's the difference? They don't. Sometimes they don't think in that terms. Like how many things a heliocentric person believes that are more than fantasy.
Oh yeah, I mean you have to, that's why flat Earth has been growing and will continue to grow, and is because once you get pointed out all these assumptions you have to make that you're living on a ball and you can't go prove it yourself, you start seeing it a lot more often. It becomes so ridiculous when you start thinking, but we've never even questioned it our whole lives. You know, this was one of those things that's a fact, right? They knew this to be a fact.
Yeah.
We got pictures, astronauts went to the moon, yada, yada, yada. And yeah, they did a really great job at, what is this?
making
An
people-
illusion?
Yeah. A wizardry, maybe.
Wizardry. Yeah, a grand
yeah.
illusion.
Yeah, exactly. It's
And this is
amazing.
the worldwide religion. In my opinion, the one that the Bible talks about, the worldwide religion that's going to take over all the others. I mean, when it comes down to what is a religion, yeah, people claim to be of a certain religion, but what really defines what religion you are your actual beliefs, what you actually believe to be true. And the heliocentric model goes and contradicts all the 5 major religions. And they had me fooled. I was a heliocentrist, and I consider it a religion. There is no proof, there's no evidence backing it up that we can go test and observe ourselves. It's a religion, and then it really is a cult. Because if you speak against it at all or question it, you get ostracized and cast out of that religion.
Yeah, man. I found the account, and I'm trying to now find the video itself, because I want just to show, but well, I have it, man. I am not an Instagram guy who understand exactly how this. I have it here. I think it's here. Again, I don't know exactly. I think it's in English, but it's crazy what he did with this.
CIA and quantum physicists have known that we live in a multi-dimensional holographic universe for decades. This is what I've been trying to tell you with my latest book and documentary, The Crystal Lattice Mind Illusion. The mind and body are 2 separate things. The brain and body, where the program is stored, is kind of like the movie reel. Consciousness is the light that hits the movie reel and thus projects the holographic program. The mystics have known this for thousands of years.
Look at the drawings in the back. When you combine this type, for example, of geometrical patterns, which is based on harmonics, harmonics frequencies, when you combine this specific, of course, we are not saying that the human has been produced with this type of, colorful sheets of frequency, but the idea behind is that if you have certain patterns with, sacred geometry, in this case, with those 3, you form a face of a baby. Again, it's a little difficult maybe to transfer this idea into a 3-dimensional proof or whatever you wanna see, but the guy is talking about that everything is a frequency, and we saw a lot of things and we compared a lot of things, especially the guys behind Tartarian history that went, look at the cathedral and all the sacred geometry based on frequencies. And in that case, or when we talk about the Fibonacci spiral, well, here is something like that. It's not used by a cathedral, or it's not used to just depict, a Fibonacci spiral. But if you use these patterns and you put color on it, and that is why maybe we call human. A lot of people talk about hue based on the color wheel, hue, and then you have the chakras, and every chakra has a specific colors, and and then you have the color of the rainbow, and etc. And you sit up and put layer on top of another layer on top of another layer, and you become crazy.
So what do you think about other dimensions? Like, do you think what they're saying is maybe there's things that vibrate at other frequencies that don't interact with our world at all? They could be right here. Like, I could be sitting inside of a mountain in another world, that's right here where I am?
Exactly. I like the idea of the document released by CIA, the Gateway Project, and this is official. This is an official document. I have uploaded the official document. I have here in my webpage. Let's call Gateway Project. This one. This is official document. Let me just change to English. This is an official document presented by the CIA. Here you can download the whole complete document, but this is the official document. And from a long time, the page 25 was missing, quote unquote missing, and like 25 years later, was released. And what is here inside this document, and you can see the brain shape there, you can have drawings about, this is the consciousness energy grid. This is a study made by the CIA trying to train militaries to access into the astral world and trying to use that as a weapon. But in the process, what they discover is that our universe is a hologram, quote unquote hologram, and we live in this plane of inertia. And this is the double toroidal field, which is like a heart. And here, remember the animation that I presented before, because when I present that double helix with the serpent, that maybe it's something crazy. But this is the same thing. And this is the shape of our heart. This is an stylized rendition of a simple torus. This is the universe, the hologram, the nucleus, the black hole in the middle, the white hole, and our plane of inertia. And again, this is what they take it from the astral information of what our reality is. And it's get better and better in terms of, this is people that when they wake up from the trance, they start talking about what they saw and what they receive in terms of information. Again, it's a complete document. And the funny part is that at the end of the conclusion of this document, it's crazy because what it said is, after this project, the Monroe Institute, that is still in place, was created and blah, blah, blah. But the final thing was that project, the final result, the colonel that was the director of the project, he said to the CIA, the only thing that I'm going to tell you is that if you are going to train people to access into the astral projection world and use that as a military resource, you need to understand that there is intelligent, non-material entities communicated with the people that access there. That was the final conclusion. I don't know if I pronounced well or correctly, but the idea is that, okay, yeah, you can go to the astral projection world, but in time to time, you're going to find there is intelligent entities, non-corporeous. So, okay, we close the stadium, turn off the light, and
yeah, no, I actually know one of the guys over at Iron Realm, Walt. He was really big into lucid dreaming. It's kind of like an astral projection, but when you're sleeping, you know, it's a little different. You have a little bit more control and stuff like that. But he said that he would also practice astral projectioning during that time.
Yeah. This is the conclusion. The author of the report suggests that we must be intellectually prepared to react to possible encounters with intelligent non-corporeal forms of energy when space-time limits are exceeded. And again, this is from a document from the CIA.
You think these are the beings that people interact with when they're on DMT and other mind-altering things like that?
When we did the Flat Earth conference in Peru this year, at the beginning of this year, I take ayahuasca, and it's a little strange experience. Then I have, in my life, I have a lot of astral projection and voluntary astral projection, not dreams, but experience. And sometimes I feel that I talk with someone, with something there, but for me the majority of the time was alone, and that at least was a nice and nice experience. That could be the how you say in English, the room encounters, the people that talk that they receive some entity in the room at night, and it's a complete zoo. Our world is a zoo. In the material world and in the astral world,
Have you heard of that one? They call it a disease. I believe they say it's a disease of the eyes, where people see little people that look kind of like gnomes.
Well, man, that happened to my grandfather and my grandmother. Yeah, but not in form, not in the shape of gnomes, but like a child. My grandmother dies at 91 years old, and the last 4 months he talks to me and with my brother, and all the time saying that she saw all the time childs in the house that are calling her.
What the hell?
Yeah, my two, my grandfather and my grandmother, and one from the branch of my father and the other from the branch of my mother, that they don't interact each other, they don't live in the same house. It was crazy. I have recorded that audio, because that was like in the 2006, and I don't even think in terms of the astral projection world. I have it like 5 years ago, and I was reading at that time metaphysics, and that is why I saw interest, but I didn't have the half of the knowledge that I have today, and I have recorded that experience. Yeah, but not again in the shape of a child, like a human child, not like a gnome in terms of the Lord of the Ring shape forms. I don't know what you reference exactly.
Yeah, there it is. I knew Cami would put it. Charles Bonnet syndrome. You need to check that out. Look that up. It's people that have never met each other. They live all across the plane, different languages, different cultures, and they have this syndrome. They call it a syndrome. It has something to do with their eyes, but they like see these things all around doing stuff.
I think it's just that they've been smoking too much crack.
Yeah, could be, man.
Could be part of it.
Could be part of it.
Charles Bonnet.
I don't know if I'm stop sharing if you...
Okay. If you want, it's up to you. We are getting towards the end here. Just wanted to look at the chat, see if anybody's got any questions for us. Go ahead and feel free to @GlobeBusters, and we will take a look. Maybe you have something, a comment about the sun, or the filming the sunset, or something that Eero showed, or maybe you are happy as a clam and have no questions at all. One of those things is probably true. How did I saw you did a couple interviews this week, Eero? I saw a bunch of your videos showing up on my feed.
Yeah, I'm very active
can
in
you
my
please
Spanish.
Do it
and
in
I have
English?
two strike in my English channel.
Oh,
that is
2
why
is the
I'm not
worst.
uploading things.
2 is the worst, yeah, because then you can't upload anything.
Yeah,
but
man.
Why don't you just do everything in
2
English?
weeks.
I'm tired of the Spanish stuff. I think you need to get over it.
Okay, well, I'm going to take that
Give it
advice.
up. Give it up. That language is not needed anymore. It's ancient language, the Spanish.
Yeah, no, for me, speaking English, I have a lot of things. I have a lot of, and I'm start using AI trying to transfer my Spanish to English directly based on emotional voice, but it's so expensive, man. They have a really good job. They take my tone, my accent, everything. It's like me talking a really good English.
Really?
But yeah, I use
I want to hear that. That sounds awesome.
an app calling AI Risk. That is the name, and it's amazing. But the problem is that for processing 20 minutes, it charge you $40.
Have you tried the one that we are using, the 11 Labs?
Okay.
You might want to try it.
And that's
11labs.io, and I think you can get like 10,000 words for free, and then I think for like $5 a month, you get like 100,000 words for free. Or not for free, obviously it's only $5 a month.
That's nice. And in fact, I was doing, let me show you very quickly. I was doing...
Do you have a sample of you speaking English that we could hear, or no? I just think it would be funny to hear.
Well, I think I still have here in my cell phone. I have one example of Austin talking Spanish.
Yeah, I want to hear that too.
Yeah, but this is not with the Super Pro. Let me just share a little bit very quickly. Sorry for interrupt your screen share. This is not from the Pro AI tool.
La relatividad requiere la velocidad de la luz y las distancias al cielo en el pequeño modelo requieren la velocidad de la luz.
In English,
por eso creen que tiene que ser una parte física del viaje.
In Spanish, it's perfect.
Yeah.
It's perfect. I mean, everybody understand and what.
Really? So everything's perfect from your end.
Everything's perfect. Yes. And then I have.
Wow. Do you think that our videos would do good in Spanish if we dubbed them over like that?
Well, I start researching about this because my idea it's trying to let me just show you the one that I'm talking about. I trying to I have the 11 labs.
Oh, you do? Okay.
I already have it, and then I have this AI Risk. I think this is the voiceover. This is This is crazy, man. I mean. This is really, really crazy. Not this one. Let me see if I don't know. It's
getting crazy. What do you think they're going to do? What do you think they're going to do in a year or two when people realize that you could take anybody's voice and do anything? I mean, I could find any, and we've already seen this. Joe Rogan, if you haven't seen, there's like commercials now, and there's podcasts with him that never happened. They're faked.
No, it's that for me is how you say in English, inevitable.
Inevitable, yeah.
Inevitable. So let's use in our favor, because
I agree with that. That's why I've started to think of ways to use it. But my question, I wonder how they're going to handle that because technically,
I don't know.
Why do you need that? You don't need actors anymore. A famous actor, you could just use Tom Hanks' voice, right? So like Tom Hanks is the star of Toy Story, right? But you would never need to do that again. He would never need to come in and read lines. You could just use his voice, yeah.
I think the name is this one. If you have the chance, because you can do it for free 1 minute.
Okay.
But this is at least in my opinion.
I can't
this
see
is the
the
best.
URL. What is it? Read it to me.
It's Rask.
RASK.
Let me just.
.ai. Okay, I got it. RASK.ai.
Yes, this one.
Okay.
Let me show you, because I think, Daniel, I have here. I have a few examples. For example, this is not the Rask AI, or I don't know how to pronounce it. But this is me with another software.
Knows how he still has a slight millisecond delay with this here on Earth.
Wow.
And yet these guys in 69 filmed in color in real time. The takeoff of the return module.
It's like an Indian hero.
We took off to rendezvous. And the guy who was in freaking Houston in the United States, 380,000 kilometers away, he could control it from his computer using 2 levers. Imagine the technology of Houston in 69. He could move the camera in real time on the moon. Y vos ahí, pues not only could he move it up down to the side, but he could also zoom in and track in real time perfectly.
That's like
when they were going to take off and everything. Truly impressive.
That's awesome.
Well, but this is from a guy who is a Spanish guy, who is friend of us, of all of us, in terms of the Spanish community, that he has a company doing this. And he's trying to implement these emotional AI voices. And he took my Spanish video, which is not prepared for translation. I was just talking like a very bad Spanish, you know?
Right. Regular stuff, just everyday conversation.
Regular stuff, yeah, doing my Spanish style, joking, things like that. But my idea was using this for translating my documentary. The documentary that I have that is about 2 hours. But the problem is that the pricing is crazy. Of course, the technology is amazing. It's much better. That it's almost taking your voice and translating in any language, Russian, English, Spanish, whatever. It's perfect. But the price again, I need to make like a crowdfunding because $50 per month for 25 minutes.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah.
It's crazy, you know. So that is the problem. That's in this particular time.
Yeah, because I don't see where you're going to get a return on that.
I didn't. I never gonna have the return. It's preferable at least to say, okay, man, who wants to help me and trying to reach like 1 hour and a half and translate my flat Earth theories.
Right.
Because my original idea, and I just leave this on the table because maybe someone wants to help me, but my idea was to translate this documentary that I have, which is a very professional. I read it subtitled in English, and it's a really professional one.
How
it's
long
like
is it?
1 hour and a half. It's almost with $100. I can and it has different voices and everything is detected. They keep the music in the background. It's amazing. It's just
I couldn't believe when I did the song that I did, and I was like uploading it to use Eminem, and then it was like, well, upload this song with you singing it. I was like, well, if I do that, how are you going to get my voice out and put his in? That doesn't make any sense. And sure enough, that's what they do. It's like, what? How did you pull my voice out of the sound and then put his voice in and leave the background sound? That's insane.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. So my idea was trying to do this because, of course, a live show, 2 hours and a half, me speaking, I'm not going to pay for that. If it's free, okay. But at least for special reports or special works, maybe it's worth it. But again,
yeah,
I am not going to have any returns for my views in my English channel.
And there's no way we would, for our summits, if we wanted to do some translation so that they could go to the Spanish community or something. Again, we have basically 10 hours a day, 2 days. That's 20 hours. And we would have like 20 hours of footage. So, we're talking thousands then.
Yeah. But this one, I have been used this one. This is more affordable because this is, for example, let me just finish with this. This is a really nice thing. First of all, you cannot upload it. You need to use YouTube links directly. Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing is that this do it in real time. So, for example, right now, a person could paste the GLOBEBUSTERS show here, select the language, and be watching the show translating live in real time. With this type of voice, for example. This is for real. I tested.
We have a country to win in, but then I think that to talk about football sponsorship, it has changed. Wow. I think you know it better than me.
That's crazy.
Like this in real time, and this is for free. You can download it. Is an extension for Google Chrome, for example. You can install and do it.
You could do our show right now, and it would translate it to
well, Spanish. Let me see if I still have it because it turned me crazy because it's all the time been active and it was a time like, okay, I don't want to. Right. But let me do it quickly. I'm going to re-add.
And it's free. Easy dubs.
What?
I said, and it's free. Easy dubs. I'm just writing this down.
Yes, and it's still on beta, I think, because I paid $10. That was at least it's a little more affordable price. Well, it's already here, but I paid $10 to translate some of the Greg Reese reports.
Nice, yeah.
To Spanish. and it's the text different voices, but there is no so human voices, but it's nice to hear. I mean, it's not the perfect voice, but let me just show you what you can do. Let me quickly, because I have uploaded here. For example, I think this is a one from the channel Moon, translated and using that software, for example. This is the type of voice. It's in Spanish, of course, right? Let me just play it quickly. And this one is from Greg Reese. Maybe this play.
Naturaleza. Dennis Meadows, coautor de Los Límites del Crecimiento, explicaba que necesitamos asesinar a miles de millones de personas.
That's Spanish. He was talking about the population, but that is the tone of a voice.
Okay.
It's not so good. It's not so good.
No, but it gets the point across, which is what we're trying to do, right? You just want more people to see it.
Yeah, that's the idea. I mean, I don't care about Joe Rogan. Maybe Joe Rogan has a problem because he make a lot of money, but we don't live doing millions. If I do millions, I contract a translator guy.
Right, exactly. It'd be very easy.
It's much better, yeah. Let me see. First, let me try to, because I think I need to reload. Let me see. He's there. Okay, I think, I because if something appear here, let me
It's okay.
close.
It's all good. It's all good.
And I close it and let me just reopen. Okay, let me just, I am closing all the Chrome sessions just for, and now I open a new one. I have it here, and let me see if that was loading. I'm gonna open it, you know, it doesn't matter, a video here, and because it was a start automatically. Totalmente.
Entonces,
okay, give me a couple of time if you want to take the show.
Okay.
Back again, and I'm going
Just
to prepare this.
Yeah, we'll just cover because we're running out of time here, but we'll just highlight what we talked about today. So first, if you can assist Austin Witsit or Sean Hibbeler, who had thousands stolen from them in a sandwich attack and got wiped of all their RAE token, which is what we get paid from Rockfin by. If you want to help them, can you reach out either Cash App? Both of their Cash Apps are in the description. It's Witsitgetsit, $Witsitgetsit, WITSITGETSIT, and also HibbelerProductions, $, and it's HIBBELERPRODUCTIONS. So those guys are this Cash App if you want to help out. Again, nobody's saying,
want to help them,
can you reach out? Whoa. No one's saying if you have to. No one's saying you have to help. It's just if you want to help, if you've got a little extra $5 or something you want to throw their way, please do so. That would make them at least somewhat not wanting to jump off buildings today. So we also talked about the speed of the sun. So if you want to help with that, please reach out to me, t.me/Jeranism, and just let me know, hey, I've got a camera, I want to film the sun, and we'll kind of get you set up and say what we need. And then we'll put all that together and hopefully be able to present something which is a problem for the globe. Definitely a problem for the globe. So we have that. Remember, Flattoberfest is October 21st to 22nd. If you've got a little extra $5 or something you want to throw there.
Sorry, let me just check.
Please do so. That would make them at least somewhat.
Because now
it's
appear
today.
But I understand of the document release. Sorry, I think I reached the maximum.
Okay,
but,
that's what it is. Gotcha.
I think it's not. It's for free the first try.
Okay.
And then they're going to charge you. That's the problem. But it's on beta session. So maybe in the future we can have this for a nice price. And
yeah, because we'd love to have it for the summits.
The thing is that you are not the one who is setting up. This is the user. The user right now, he can buy this and translate it into Spanish. Of course, the idea was that we can use something to, just transmit in one channel in Spanish. And
and then pick
whatever.
it up on another one.
Yeah. So I'm gonna stop sharing that.
Okay. Thank you much for that. And then I'll check super chats and see if we've got any there. And that should be good. So like I said, Flattoberfest, you can go to flattoberfest.com or you can go to flatearthfestivals.com. That is
and if you put in code Thanks Bob, you get 10% off now.
Wow. Didn't know that. Thanks Bob will be 10% off. That's October 21st and 22nd. So that'll be awesome. And then November the 11th and 12th, we do have our next summit. It'll be Mount Meru version 2 or Mount Meru 2. And that will be November 11th and 12th. So you can prepare for that if you like. We're getting all the things lined up, ready to go. If you're already a member, great. It'll just be on the app like everything else. So those are things coming up. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Like I said, Austin moving the next week or two. So again, any help would be appreciated by him. Send it to his Cash App. Also in the description is both their Ethereum addresses if you have some tokens you want to send over just to help make them feel better about their loss. Let me check the super chats. What do you got here? Anything else? That was it.
For me? You're talking to me, man?
Yeah, I was just seeing if you had anything else you wanted to share. Or are we all good?
No, okay, we are good. I mean, it's left me like 1 week until I can start uploading again things in my English channel. And everyone that wants to follow my webpage, remember that we have a automatic translation to via IP for the local language, and you can. I uploaded a lot of things in English too, not just in Spanish. So if you want to support me or follow me on my webpage, I really appreciate it. And the rest, we keep going.
So it's funny. I think I put our most live views ever, and it might be our least live views ever. So we did well. We did really good.
Okay.
I think it's because we don't show up on any live pages that I could see, so maybe people don't see it. Thanks, Cami, for putting that in the chat. Cami is putting links in there for Flat Earth festivals with the Flattoberfest in there. Then also Witsit's Cash App and Ethereum address. So thank you to you guys that are helping out. I know that both of them have said that they have received some donations, so that's great, at least so they don't jump off any buildings. And let me check the super chats now, see if there's anything I wasn't watching throughout the show. So there could be none, or there could be thousands of dollars. We don't know. Oh, there is no super chats that I can tell on YouTube. So I'm seeing that right. And let me go over to Rockfin. And we've got some money on Rockfin, $50. Thank you very much. Let me check the tips here. We've got Hubble's Whores says much appreciated with a question mark. And I always see question marks at the end of people's statements over there. It must be something that happens accidentally. Robert Zafar, say what's up, man. Long time no talk. Hope you're doing well. If you want to give me a call, I haven't talked to you in a while. Robert Tozy, $5 says 6 and 6 degrees for sunrise and sunset. That's why. Yeah, I saw that too. Isn't that crazy? Dustin Tidball says, love you guys and look forward to the episode every week. Thank you very much. $20. We really appreciate it. It helps keep us going, keeps the show on the air. And let's start with see who's got coming up this week. Zach, go ahead and tell us what you got coming up.
Yeah, Iron Realm Media is back. We are live now Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings from 5 a.m. Eastern to 7 a.m.
Are you only on YouTube? You're not on Truth Frequency, right?
No, we're done with Truth Frequency. We're going to another, the one Billy Ray Valentine starting. I know Wayne McCroy's already over there.
Oh, okay.
I think it's freeworld.fm, maybe. I'm not sure. I'm horrible about that kind of stuff. We haven't started yet, so I'm not really sure. But this has been in the works for a while now, a couple years. Billy Ray Valentine has been setting this up, and it's finally getting going off the ground. So yeah, but we will be on YouTube still. I believe we're over on Rockfin, where Josh streams to a bunch of them. He's like on all of them.
Does he stream to Telegram?
I'm not sure. That's one we need to start doing, because I know there's a lot more people on Telegram now.
And also it's
first started using it.
A very nice way to transmit using, all these features like screen share and talk with another people via Discord. I was participating in a few live stream via Discord, and it's amazing how combined with OBS.
Yeah, I use Discord a lot.
God, I hate it. I don't want to have to adopt it.
It's a little strange, yeah.
Well, it's just, with all the servers, and then it's just always such a mess when I get there. But I do know a lot of people that always ask me to go over there. I do have an account. I do go over there. I just don't like it. Okay, yeah, I'll try.
Yeah,
Telegram.
I don't even get on the Discord servers.
Mm-hmm.
We just use it as a chatting and video sharing and stuff like that.
Okay.
Because it's solid. It always works. When you stream, you can just start a call and add people to it, and then stream and show them what you're doing on your and it always works. It's real smooth. Yeah, Discord, that's how I don't get into the servers with all the different chats and all that kind of stuff. I don't mess with that. We just use it for when we're chatting while we're working on the map and stuff like that.
Gotcha. I might try to do Telegram. I've never live streamed there before. I think I tried once, but it didn't really take very well.
It's easy. It's very easy.
And you just put in like a restream. Okay, got you. So, but it doesn't. I'll just try it real quick. I'm going to try and go live on my Jeranism Live Telegram real quick, just see what happens. Jeranism Live. And
The universe is going to explode.
It might. It might happen. So we go. I see up here, and then there's stream via, stream with, and then it wants me to copy the server URL. Let me just try it. Because if we could start doing that, it's another place where we could be that I think a lot of people would watch. And then the stream key, I'm going to put that in, which is over. Now I lost it. Stream key would be over. Oh, here. Wait, what? The changes won't be saved back. Why is this blocking my screen? Okay, where was that? Oh, it's on Telegram. Here we go. Telegram. Now we got to grab the stream key, copy stream key, and I just hit start streaming. That's that easy? Can't be. Can't be that easy. Let's try it. Let's see. We're gonna go here, paste, and see if this works. Use authentication. I don't know if I'm supposed to click that or not. Okay, let's see what happens when we turn this on. We're going to turn on Telegram and see if it starts going live over there. We're going to go, not now, Telegram, turn it on. Okay. And we're going to go over here to Telegram and see what if people get notifications. I don't know. To stream video on another app, enter the server URL. Once you start broadcasting in your streaming app, click start streaming below. Okay. What does this say? I just started streaming. It says one viewer.
You are going to stream on Jeranism any topic chat or?
What does this say? No, I put it into, it's called Jeranism Live. It's t.me/Jeranism Live.
Okay. You are going to stream on Jeranism any topic chat or?
How do I stop the sound coming from it? It's called Jeranism Live. It's t.me/Jeranism Live.
Okay. You are going to stream
Settings.
on Jeranism any topic chat or?
How do I stop the sound coming from it? Speakers.
You are going to stream on.
How would I stop it from picking up my voice then?
That is your eternal problem.
How would I stop it from picking up my audio issue? I don't know how to do it. It's going to pick up both my sound.
Eternal problem.
How would I stop it from my audio?
Audio karma.
Let me treat this real quick. Start recording settings.
Eternal problem.
Let me my audio. There, I turned it off. But now it's probably not. Now nobody's going to hear anything.
No, that was the echo was amazing, man. Eternal problem. Audio karma.
Somebody's in there. Let me see if they can still hear me. Can you still hear me? I think the problem is going to be. I think this is the problem I had last time. I couldn't. I was like, oh, I'll have to do it from another computer, which doesn't make any sense to me. But it's echoing. How would I turn? Oh wait, I could just turn down the volume on. Let's see here. Oh, there you are. You just joined the group. Wait, I have a better idea. I think if I turn down the volume over here. So I turn down the Telegram volume in my volume settings. Open volume mixer. Telegram. Where's it at here? Oh, right here. Jeranism Live.
Now I'm watching the live stream.
But you can hear
5
me?
viewers.
But can
We
you hear
have
me?
5 viewers. Yes, perfect. I
no.
see the screen. It's only.
And you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
In the live stream, I mean. Not you hear me on this. I mean, in the live, if you were to watch on Telegram.
Yes,
right now,
and you can invite me, for example, and I can participate in your live stream.
Let me see. Hold on, let me turn this back up. Okay, close, and then we would go. Where's the invite you? 8 viewers. Let me open Telegram here. See if I can figure this out. We're just doing
I
this
heard
live,
you on the live stream.
Okay. I'm trying to see where I would add Iru. He says I can add him. On Telegram. Here I am on Telegram. It's just a little window for me on Telegram. Is that correct? Where's the other, like my chats and stuff are all gone. It's just a screen with the stream on it. This is what, oops, that's full screen.
Well, let me just ask just in case. You are using the Telegram desktop or
Yes.
you are using a Google Chrome Telegram?
No, Telegram desktop.
Okay.
So when I went live, it brought up a little window, and the little window is the stream, right? But I don't see like my other. Wait, maybe it's this button. Oh, I do still have my chats. Okay. So then what do I do here? So let me see. You said I can invite you. Where's you at? Say something real quick, and then
Check miner 7.
Okay, here. Let me see if I. Do I just click you and put select? No. Where you don't know where I invite you? 3 people are
Well, the shows that I participate was the guy invited me.
Yeah.
But if you right click on my name, I just type here. If you right click into my name, it's not.
I right click and it says reply, pin, copy text, copy message link, forward, delete, report, select. I don't see any invite. Chat is
all right.
Try to start soon. Show start soon. Don't know. I'll have to see. I'll have to play with it another time. I just thought maybe we could figure something out live. There's a search button. There's a little side button. What's this button? View group info, manage group, create poll, manage group. I don't see how you would invite somebody. All right, I'll play with it. But that'd be great if I could start going live on there. And then people can actually... So where Benny says, I muted Rockfin and I hear all of you. Hi, Benny. How are you? So they could then chat in here and they're also listening to the show on Telegram then. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, here's... yeah, I hear all of you and have Rockfin muted. All right, this is cool. That's good to know. I wonder how we can utilize that best. And it... Correct. Thank you, Adam. Hope you're well. There's Stephanie in there as well. Thank you guys for checking it out. I was just trying to see how you could invite another person, but that I'm not figuring out. What if I just click your name? There is add to contacts. Maybe I have to add you to contacts.
Maybe.
Let me see if we do that. But I don't see a way to add anybody yet. This button, if I click this, it just brings up... Oh, wait, maybe click in here. No, that's volume. No, I don't see anything. All right. Well, we'll figure this out. But that's cool if we can do that. What's up, Harmon? How are you? Hope you are well. What's up, Flat Earth Eric? I know airships. We know. We know airships. Unmute.
DB Cooper III, tip $5. Just joined the end. We'll do replay. Like to learn more on sun and moon movements. Thanks, guys.
Awesome. And we are, again, reach out to me, t.me/Jeranism, if you want to join in the, just for 3 weeks or so. We just need, even if you did one time a week, we think that those 3 videos would at least be able to tell us, yes, it appears that the sunlight after sunset is getting less right now as we approach winter. In which case, we might have one of the best proofs I've seen or evidences I've seen that, because that's what really it should be about, is which hypothesis do claims, support your claim or not support your claim. And so if the hypothesis is that we've got a larger southern sea and the Earth is more laid out in an AE style map, then we would expect to see what we might be seeing as far as the sun moving faster on the outside. That it completely flies in the face of the globe. So it will be interesting to see what we turn up with that one. Telegram has less delay than YouTube. Airships, yes. What's up, Mick Coulinio 1117. All right, thanks guys for joining us. We will figure out how to make this work, how to invite people. Oh, maybe up here. What is up here? Turns live. Nope, it just brings up this and this. Yeah, I don't know how to invite people. Maybe it's something in the settings that I have it turned off that more people can do it or something. But anyway, we will see what happens. All right, for me, your audio and video don't work all the time. Stephanie, for me, your audio and video don't work all the time. You mean on Telegram, you don't hear me? Or see the... Let me put something else on the screen so you don't have to see that. We will put up a... This is just the thumbnail now. See if you can see that change and keep hearing my voice, possibly. It works for me, audio and video. Thank you very much. Seems to be working for Josh Vale. What's up, Josh? How are you? Long time no see. Fine for me, says Benny. All right. Good to know. I like the fact that we could go live here as well. God, that'd be awesome. I mean, really what you could do, I mean, now, because I'm just thinking like things that you're just afraid to say on YouTube or whatever. I mean, if you got a good audience here, you could always just go live from Telegram, say whatever you want. Nothing's even going to be taken down. And then what happens at the end of the stream? Is it a video or it just goes away forever? For instance, when I stop
I'm not sure.
I would assume it goes away forever. I don't think it would let you store the whole video. That would be weird. Then it's just like YouTube already. On Telegram, your stream stops.
I'm waiting for the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac clock app to be able to do all this stuff. And then We can just do everything from there.
Don't give him any ideas. He'll start working on it. All right. And then, Ira, what do you have coming up this week? Anything?
I'm going to repeat myself. I am waiting until YouTube give me back my English channel, and I encourage everyone to follow me on Rockfin NPT for all.
Yes, please follow him on Rockfin. And for me, it's the same old thing. This week, I believe I've got. AlphaCast is going to be postponed. Say a prayer for Mike Winter. There's a fire going on up at their property there at the Alphabetic Farms. So he's been fighting a fire for 2 weeks. So prayers to him. I was supposed to be on their podcast with him and Dr. Longo, but it's not going to be. It's going to be postponed for a week or two. On today, I think, I don't know what time, but SGT report should be coming out with Dave Weiss and myself on there. I think it's today. He said it would be uploaded, so look for that. And then next week, we've got the Journalism Show on Friday, followed by the Speaker's Corner. And I believe I have something else this week that's just escaping me right now. I forgot what it is. Thursday something. And Wednesday something, I think. So anyway, that's about it. If you record a Telegram stream, it puts it right into your saved messages. If you record a Telegram. Oh, I saw a button that said record. Where is that at? So I went here, and then it's this button that says...
well, that would be cool. Then anybody in the group could go back and watch it later.
You could just forward it back to the group, right? So start recording.
Yeah.
Record this chat and save the result into an audio file. What? Participants will see the chat is being recorded. Also record video. Oh, I see. Choose video orientation. Like that. Continue. Recording title. End of GLOBEBUSTERS. Just going to see what happens. Just playing with this while we're on it. See what happens. And start. All right, so now it's recording. Supposedly started recording the video stream. Alrighty. Cool. Let's see what else we got here. I have been saying airships forever. They used to call me Balloon Man because I talked about airships so much. Well, you and Eric can join forces. Thank you very much, Brianna. Appreciate that info. I can join and see and listen for a few seconds. The video will freeze and no audio. I tapped at the top where it says Jeranism Live. I can join. Oh, wait. Who said that? Oh, Jaywin said that. I tapped at the top, just seeing what other people. Great. I see link above. I wonder why some people can't hear it. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to play with it. I do see only a call hang up button. It says view group info, manage group, create poll, export chat history, clear history, leave group. All right, Adam, that's good to know. I think I'll add this as soon as I figure out how to make it work. I want to add it and start streaming there as well. And if it stores it, that's even better. It's a great place to have like a, what do you call it, depository, if you will. All right, guys, it's been fun. We've been already over 20 minutes, so let's head out. Any final words from either of you two?
No, that was fun.
All right, good show.
Oh, yeah, GLOBEBUSTERS Tech will be on this Thursday. We moved it back a day. We had stuff going on, and then I made a snafu in Iron Realm Media. I didn't realize we were starting up last Friday. And
conflict of interest. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it happens.
It does.
So yeah, we will be back this Thursday for sure, though, and we're going to be covering more aspects of the moon and what it might possibly be made of. Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Roger says big live streams are not supported yet. Screenshot above. Maybe it's my Wi-Fi connection. I'm still connected to the Chromecast. All right, we'll play with it. We'll see. There's going to be lots of new options, I'm sure, all the time. So let's see if we can find something that works for everybody. And that is it. All right, guys, I remind you, please do your own research. No, that's not right. It's be kind to each other. Don't lie to each other. Open your minds. There is truth inside. We will see you soon. And again, thanks for all your support. And thanks for helping out Sean and Austin if you did that. And good luck to Austin with his family member and as well his move to Florida. All right, guys, we will see you soon. This has been Jeran and the GLOBEBUSTERS. Till next time.